Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's another night of VCS English. It is, of course, day 2 of VCS Spring 2021. And returning like the prodigal son, we do have Yulwei. Welcome back to the desk, my friend.
Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here and finally entering in the VCS craziness second day, but so much still ahead of us. So.
Craziness is definitely the term. Of course, alongside Yulwei will be myself every day, and as well as Vinnie, the two star-studded analysts, the biggest brain duo we could find. We didn't look too hard though. Anyway, Yulwei,
the best yelly man around.
The best duo we could find behind the big W.
behind the Kmart. Anyway, Yulwei, did you get a chance to watch much of yesterday's games?
So I caught the most part, not every game in complete detail, but some of the craziness for sure, especially in the second series and the very first game, I think I remember distinctly it being an absolute slaughterhouse. Like everyone was dying left, right, and center. The game was back and forth and forth and back. Holy moly, what an opening game. It was perfect to introduce all the new viewers. So if you missed that one, CES against 𝘀𝘀cie, I believe, first game, go ahead and watch that.
Don't watch the
second one.
Yeah, the second one is a skip. The second one is a skip.
But what did you think of the teams we saw?
Well, 𝘀𝗶𝗹𝗀 was a little bit of a mixed bag. I know everyone has a very good impression now after the second game, because the second game was clean and the Stomp was very nicely executed. But the first game, they should have lost that game at some point. So not sure about 𝘀𝗶𝗀. Still, of course, playing with a sub jungler ego a little bit ill this weekend. So hopeful for 𝘀𝗶𝗀, but not quite hitting the high marks I was expecting. And the other two teams in the other series, well, BTS looked promising in game 1 and then fell apart. So it's feels like % is back.
Yeah, I mean, I was more just a little bit unimpressed by SBTC.
But to be fair, they didn't play their full roster yet, right? So
I don't think, does Zeros solve the issues they were having?
I think, I mean, I talked about it yesterday. I think he solved some of them. DL1 being able to be much more of a carry threat around the map.
DL1 looked incredible.
He did.
DL1 actually reminds me a lot of 𝘁𝗶𝗃, I have to say, for LCK viewers maybe coming over. I think DL1 is actually quite similar to 𝘁𝗶𝗃. Very good laner, very strong mechanics, and can even dominate the top lane. 𝘁𝗶𝗃, I believe, played a few top lane games last year as well. DL1 yesterday just played top lane and dumpstered his lane opponent. So
in game 2,
he's still so strong. He's still such a good mechanical player. Might want to think about role swapping, maybe. Who knows?
No. We need more mid laners, please.
That's true. So we actually lack mid laners. We have good top laners.
Yeah.
We need what mid laners we can get.
So, something we want to touch on, as we're sort of just talking about the league as a whole and league as a whole, is the meta. So if we want to bring up that graphic of what other regions are picking, and then we can kind of talk about how we think the VCS is going to adapt to the meta. Because one thing I was surprised, but happily surprised, was the meta read in the VCS was good yesterday. We didn't have any picking things from 6 patches ago. The champion picks, okay, we didn't have any of the Moonstone stuff. It's the VCS, we were never getting that.
SOFM played it, so there's a chance. There's actually a chance, because SOFM played it.
SOFM also played Tankly Sin, you know.
Yeah, and Levi copied that one, so...
True.
So maybe
Levi copies it.
Maybe 𝘀𝗀 will play something.
Maybe.
But, yeah.
Regardless, we can kind of talk about the meta. What kind of picks are standing out to you as beneficial or likely for the VCS to emulate Vinnie?
So we're definitely going to see a lot of these engage supports, things like the Leona, things like the Alistair. That's just the bread and butter of a lot of these picks. A lot of these teams, they just really like their hard engage. And when we've seen team players like 𝘀𝗀cie come off those sort of picks, it doesn't actually go so well for them. I want to point out, and Leona in particular, if you look at the 𝘀𝐶𝐾, not actually on those 5 champions, but that's because these are the 5 most played. Leona has a really high presence, but it's mostly in the bans. They do not like playing against her. Similarly, 𝘁𝐿𝐴 across all 3 of these. Sorry, that's LCS that doesn't have Leona. No, it was 𝘀𝐶𝐾.
No,
I cannot read. Similarly, 𝘁𝐿𝐴 across all 3 leagues for the jungle. Really high presence in the bans. Not so much in the picks because she's banned every game. And because of that, and 𝘁𝐿𝐴 is also going to be a big favorite of probably players like Levi. I wouldn't be surprised if Yijin ends up picking that up for once Tier 1's back in the mid lane and wants to play Jace every game. So I definitely think 𝘁𝐿𝐴 is going to be a big one, and engage supports like Leona and 𝘁, which has been sort of a player choice. It hasn't really shown up that much in LCS or at all in LPL, but it's really popular in _𝘀𝐶𝐾, and it's
so good.
Had a good impact here.
Yeah. I mean, it was very high priority.
It was just played earlier today in LPL. 𝘁𝗀 from Top Esports played it. So
yeah, obviously our graphics aren't that quick to update. So
I mean, it's one game. It was never going to appear on the graphic.
True.
So my eyes are immediately actually drawn to the very first champion on the list, 𝘁𝐼SA. In all 3 other regions, they have played a significant amount of games. #1 champion. And we know there are some 𝘁𝐼SA specialists or so-called 𝘁𝐼SA specialists
and 𝘁𝐼SA stylists
playing in our very first series, for example, the infamous later 𝘁𝐼SA. I mean, he was once known as the best 𝘁𝐼SA player. Then he kind of hinted away too many games, and it became a meme, and he actually became one of the worst 𝘁𝐼SA players. Style also playing later today. We all know the infamous 𝘁𝐼SA style game. So
please don't bring that up. Every now, I will never forget that game because I have nightmares about it. It's a 7-2 𝘁𝐼SA on my team, and then he ends the game 7-10, and we lose.
So the 2 positions I'm most intrigued to follow with the current meta are actually ADC and jungle. I think there are very many options for both these positions. ADC, it's more about preference mostly, and maybe team compositions as well. You have some utility ADCs still, fringe meta picks. We saw 𝘁𝑐𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 yesterday in 𝘀𝑟𝑒�Ｃless's debut game in LEC. And then, of course, we have Jhin still making an appearance here and there. MF played today. Yeah. Tristana. Tristana is not utility ADC, but then
sorry, I missed utility.
The hard carry ADCs like Tristana, like 𝘁𝐼SA, like Aphelios, #1 pick in 𝘀𝐶𝐾 right now. First pick almost every game. So yeah, Aphelios, Samira coming in. So ADC super important. And then, as you already touched on, jungle. I love 𝘁𝐿𝐴. I love Lilia. So many great jungle picks right now. And then you have some of the other assassins coming in. Maybe a 𝘁𝐿𝐴 counter could be Rengar, could be Nocturne. Those champs that can actually 1v1 her and chase her down in the jungle and completely deny her early game proficiency. And then maybe even an Ivern, 55% win rate. Very strong champion. Played yesterday in top lane. One of the best junglers right now in the solo queue. So
VCS Ivern?
So many potential picks.
VCS Ivern, though. The only one I see playing it is Levi because he's the weird one. But also in jungle, Gragas. Gragas is actually in top lane, but also in jungle. Gragas is definitely a very useful pick with the flexibility to top lane now and support as well. It should be a much higher priority pick than it was yesterday. We have
build flexibility. You can go tank like yesterday's top laners in LEC went every game, and we saw great tank Gragases from Wonder and later on in the day as well. But you can also go full aggression, full Night Harvester into Zhonya's, full on engage with one-shot potential. So an interesting champion to follow as well. I agree.
Yeah, I hope we'll see a bit of it today. We have Levi in playing today, so
one of the best Gragas players.
It also feels somewhat like a maybe a coded champion. I don't know, or DNK champion, but we'll see. CBL might play it. B might play it. We don't know.
I mean, I think it will have to wait and see who
Yeah,
really wants to
exactly.
pick up the grag. And let's zoom in now to our match today. We have two, obviously, but we first up have Team Secret taking on the 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀. It's not exactly a cracker of a matchup. It'll be fun. Don't go anywhere, of course. But 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀. Yulwei, do you want to put it in terms that are a bit nicer than I can?
Well, there's one thing to look forward to. It's a new season, a new year, and you never know what happened. Maybe Froggy found his hands somewhere lying around in Levi's room. So 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 is our projected last team. So don't expect too much, but they were dangerous, especially with this playstyle being very much about heavy roams, about utility mid laners roaming into top and bot lane. And if 𝘁𝗏 hits a very good start in the season, he might be able to abuse coded with a little bit of help from the side of Froggy on Galio, on TF, on whatever you can imagine, maybe even
Sarah.
mid lane Taliyah. So I think they are still a team to take seriously, and we'll see what form they come in today.
We'll have to see. It'll be interesting. And of course, on the other side is Team Secret, a team I have a lot of hope for. I actually think this is a very strong team. Vinny, what is your impression of the Secret boys?
Secret's biggest issue, last year was really consistency, especially from the solo lanes. We saw when Coded was on, they were amazing. When Artifact was on, they were amazing. When they were off, they struggled a bit because their main carry at that point was Celebrity, who's a great player, but he's definitely more of a janitor type AD carry where he doesn't. If he's not the main draw of the team, he's perfect for your team. Now they have Slater, so they actually have a really, really super hard carry to fill that role. So it should shore up their consistency a little bit, but also, I don't know, they still might have those consistency problems, but their bot lane, at the very least, should be consistently one of, if not the best bot lane in the league.
Well, I mean, Team Secret, how could they possibly lose? They've brought an army. They have so many players.
That is true. They are. If something's not working, they can throw in Nagia, they can throw in Eddie, they can throw in Fly1, apparently. I've never heard of him, but they can throw him in.
Yeah, they have a lot of players. And I think the pieces are all there for Team Secret to be real challengers this split. Whether or not they all come together is still the big question mark. But on the whole, the team hasn't changed a huge amount, bar the 1 or 2 changes. So theoretically, they should actually be starting the split strongest because they don't have to gel, right? They're already a
the
team.
core, the top lane core, especially the mid jungle core, has actually played together for so long now. Yeah, I think they're one of the longest standing duos in the league. Artifact also one of the oldest mid laners, if I'm correct there. He's like 22, 23, which is very old for VCS standards.
Old.
And I mean, I said for VCS standards.
Yeah.
So we need to see Artifact, as you said, Vinny, be on, coated as well. And I think the potential for this team is number one. I think if they can replicate some of the macro success from last year's summer start, where I was so impressed with the coaching stuff, with the coaching of Team Secret being the best macro team in the whole league, if they can replicate the macro success and then also be individually proficient enough to stand up to the likes of Kiaya, Dia1, 𝘁𝗏, then this team, the sky is the limit. So
absolutely. Let's put our money where our mouth is and look at our predictions. If Production wants to bring those up, I think I don't think there's going to be too much variation. We can have a quick chat about our predictions and then we will head over to the draft. I think we've all got.
Let's predict MVPs instead. We can see everyone predicted the same thing. It's not very
well, we could predict MVPs, but we do have a draft to get into. So once we show those predictions, we'll head straight over into Champion Select and we will get underway with the first game of the second day of spring. Get keen, boys. It's Team Secret taking on 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀. So far, we have 𝘀𝗏 and Olaf, and now Renekton being removed by 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀. Pantheon and Seraphine from Team Secret. 𝘀𝗶𝗏 makes a lot of sense. If you guys remember, she's very, very strong at the moment. And 𝘀𝗀gy in the promotion series had the best game of his life on the server.
It's a perfect champion for 𝘀𝗀gy. You can miss a few CS here and there. She has a cheap build. She scales insanely well. She enables her teammates. It's the perfect champion for 𝘀𝗀gy, so no surprises here. Pantheon ban, of course, mostly aimed at jungle at this point. Could also be a flex pick into mid lane for 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀. We have seen 𝘀𝗀gy on
right?
Pantheon. And 𝘁cie against Samira. That's the classic ADC trait. No 𝘀𝗿𝗏lios attention.
No 𝘀𝗿𝗏lios. I feel like, especially in the early stages of the split, these two are like the considered the best. Then there's the 𝘀𝗿𝗏lios. So
it's interesting because it's a little bit like a rock paper scissors between the three ADCs. Because 𝘁cie's biggest strength, the dive into backline and Q execute damage or single target damage, doesn't work against Samira, because Samira can just block the Q with wind wall. But Samira struggles really hard against 𝘀𝗿𝗏lios because of the range disadvantage and the setup disadvantage, while 𝘁cie can beat 𝘀𝗿𝗏lios in the late game. So it's an interesting interaction between the three ADCs, and I feel like picking 𝘁cie first and leaving Samira open as a counter pick is always dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. Thankfully, but we have seen a good pivot. Camille in VCS has been really high priority and really showing up. I like the idea from SGB to take away the Galio. It does open up this Lucian pick though, which should be a very rough matchup for 𝘀𝗀gy into Artifact. So
Artifact, it's one of Artifact's favorite champions. So this is full comfort for TS. They are lacking in AP damage though. So I would just ban 2 AP junglers for 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 here. Taliyah, Lilia, and let's see if Team Secret has anything else in store.
I mean, DNK can play the Gragas. He will go Dark Harvest and show us all a good time. But I was going to question TS's draft order a little bit. You can pick the AD carry in that third slot very happily. It's not
Nidalee
before they ban away. Nidalee is also a thing. But taking the Samira and then the Camille baited in that Galio Lucian matchup, and so I'm actually really impressed with Hope's drafting this game.
I feel like it's a little bit too big brain for me, honestly, because while I agree with the counter pick priority things, now you've drafted yourself in a little bit of a corner where you need to go AP jungler.
But you have first pick and Taliyah's open.
Why is Taliyah left open? She's the best of all the AP junglers. What is happening?
Because they don't trust DNK. Also, I like Hope's next move to ban out more mid laners, so that way there's less incentive to flip Galio into support.
Maybe they have that counter pick in mind, that Rengar, that Nocturne, that sort of thing that can actually catch Taliyah and just murder her on repeat.
That would be so exciting for 𝘁𝗀𝗏's
If you ban
Nidalee,
oh, he's doing it. Udyr is here. Let's go.
Into
Taliyah. This is a decision that 𝘁𝗀𝗏 has made.
This is so horrible. Oh my god.
This is fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing DNK build a giant wall, and then it'll be BJ who does not know what to do.
We're gonna build a wall, and Udyr's gonna pay for it, because that
probably will.
is. Look, I understand this Udyr pick has come back, and we were actually talking about it before we went live. We were just chatting, saying, you know, even when 𝘀𝗏𝗃 plays it, the guy is so good. Couldn't he just play another jungler and get better results? Like, I get it, he makes it work, but just do something else. And now 𝘁𝗏𝗏, a rookie jungler, takes it into Taliyah
against one of our better junglers in a region already stacked with really good junglers. And
I mean, 𝘁𝗏𝗏 was,
to be fair,
pretty impressive in the promotion.
Yeah, and look, to be fair to 𝘁𝗏𝗏, with Udyr, it's really hard for Taliyah to land her W and get that flip when Udyr's running at the speed of sound. But you can also just build a wall.
I'm just not really sure what this composition is supposed to do come mid-game. Like, how do they ever engage into teamfights?
Three words.
It's
Three words.
all on Gnar. It's all on Gnar.
3 words, Yulwei. You're missing it. It's 3 words. Flash, bear, slap.
Nice.
Flash Bear Galio,
Classic.
I think, is more the. it's
Yeah,
more the
I
thing.
think that's the answer. I do think that's the answer. I think
Everyone
it's
has
just,
dashes on the other team, though. Or almost everyone, or some speed boost.
See, that's the big thing, is that I think the answer is the composition is meant to be 𝘁 and 𝘀cie go in, Galio ults on top of them, 𝘁𝗏 jumps in the back, and then you have one of them as the ball delivery system. On paper, sounds like a decent comp, and then you actually
Does it?
look at the enemy team.
Okay.
Then
𝘀cie
you
is
look
also
at the enemy team.
𝘀cie is also a good pick into Samira because of the point and click CC that Samira has a really hard time dodging. So there is that, but
She's protected
I don't-
by all of the other champs in her composition,
true.
though. So
It's true.
if 𝘀cie ever
fine.
gets
Exactly.
to Samira, I think Team Secret has a very, very hard word with the coach afterwards, because
So,
that's not supposed to happen here.
Yulwei, you need to give us your final thoughts and predict game 1. But I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, 24 minutes, Team Secret, let's go.
All right, there we
24
go.
minutes. All right.
Very bold.
All right, SGB, you have your timer. Start turtling. Level up that turtle stance. Let's go.
I am excited to see an 𝘀cie. I like seeing new champions, and we will talk to Yulwei again after the game. It is just going to be me and Vinnie now, bringing you the in-game casting action. I like seeing new champions. I do agree, though, that this 𝘀cie perhaps wasn't thought through enough.
It's not what I would have picked. That's for sure.
No.
I think Graves was still open, so that would have been a completely
might have
fine pick. That would have been great. You could have picked anything else. Either.
I feel like the thing is that I feel like 𝘁𝗏𝗶𝗹𝗀,
Came.
even if 𝘁𝗏𝗶𝗹𝗀 had won the draft, they're still not favored. So why
No.
have you picked a hard draft?
I don't think it's particularly that hard a draft outside having to rely on Nas.
Also, it's not hard in theory, but it's going to be very hard to execute.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's not going to be too hard to execute in terms of what you have to do. It's just, does TS respond correctly? And yeah, I think TS will respond correctly. And you're also going to have a rough time when you're getting pushed in 2 out of 3 lanes, and even your bot lane is sort of struggling a little bit to really get that return shove. You're building up a decent CS lead at the moment, it looks like, but once that wave crashes, Slater should be able to pick up the rest of that. Whereas top and mid lane, you're seeing 𝘁𝗏 and 𝘀cie shoved onto tower, having to chew through their pots pretty quickly. And that should give DNK all the time she needs to farm and escape 𝘀cie's mad bear running at you.
Yeah,
𝘀cie. I did not think I'd ever have to cast an India.
Thankfully, his ability names are really easy. They are just what they say on the tin.
Yes.
It is bold, to say the least. And I agree with you, is part of the issue, I think, is the solo lanes. 𝘁𝗏, despite the fact that, yes, he had a very, very bad end to last split, like the back half of the summer split was pretty bad for 𝘁𝗏, and I say that as someone that really likes him as a player. He's still the star of your team at this point. He has to be. You lost 𝘁𝗀, who is the other shining star. You've put him on 𝘁. He's not going to win the lane against 𝘁𝗏, and particularly not against coated 𝘁𝗏.
Not for a while, no.
Not for a while, at least. He's also gone the Grasp of the Undying instead of something like the Fleet Footwork, so we're probably not going to see the Stride Breaker and the like. Where is your avenue to victory? Is it just 𝘁𝗏? Like, I kind of like it. Oh, 𝘀cie. Wow, I didn't even...
Yeah.
Oh, that's 𝘀cie. Like, this is 𝘀cie, right? He is a very, very bad laner, and I say that with nothing but love for the guy.
Yeah, look, 𝘀cie did his, went for a really, cheeky recall, tried to get a greedy recall off so he could teleport in. Interrupted by DNK. That does mean DNK is a little bit behind, not able to contest that Gromp, and so that's a camp behind. But in the end, it just delays 𝘀cie. Didn't actually have to flash, so Froggy actually walks out of it okay. He's just a bit of waste of time. Gives Artifact that little bit better of a reset.
Yeah, Artifact is not going to have to teleport.
But hey, Froggy got his tier. He's happy. Well,
yeah, and
well,
this is
he's
also
not.
the other thing
got
is
a
we
tier.
didn't so much talk about it in draft because we were talking about the Udyr, but they did pivot the 𝘀𝗀𝗪 to support,
Yes.
and I'm sure many people who are watching that maybe aren't as familiar with the VCS and with 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 will say, yeah, well, what's wrong with that? That's what you do with the pick. It's like Froggy's best champion, and he doesn't have very many good champions. I really would have liked to see it stay on Froggy, and you pick something else in support.
I don't know. I
His
think
Orianna's not horrible, but I think he's a really good 𝘀𝗀𝗪.
He is, and I think the Orianna, and I think the main thing would also be unlocking 𝘁𝗀. They seem to be doing all right though, as DNK is forced to flash there. They've been utilizing their bot lane pressure and the
Ooh, there's a catch onto
reset.
Alrighty though as the Zenith Blade goes in. The rocks are being thrown. They're trying to get onto this 𝘁𝗀𝗪 and they do. 𝘁𝗀𝗪 will flash and get over the wall, but it's a dragon for an ADC.
I was just about to say they did really well in punishing Artifact's reset and the bot lane pressure to get that dragon, but the collapse in from CBL and Artifact is enough to catch Alrighty on the retreat. So they actually pick up First Blood that goes over to the Lucian. He can now bully this lane even harder on his reset. He's going to pick up that Noon Quiver and just continue to smash Froggy, continue to impact these side lanes. And that's where you look at again. It's actually DNK catching Alrighty just on the way out and then flash in from CBL. Just good, and then just enough damage to finish the shit off.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Slater wasn't there. Otherwise, it may have been even more of a win for Team Secret.
Yeah, as soon as that seismic shove landed, Alrighty was dead. He had to flash that seismic shove, but just didn't make the raid.
It was hard to see, to be fair.
It was not flaming. It was a good. I think that was a good play from DNK rather than a bad play out of Alrighty. But it is just how it's going to be. Slater now, a little bit more confident in the bot side, is level 5. There's a bit of a scrap up by this blue buff. 𝘁𝗀𝗪 not too happy about having his buff stolen. There's a good shockwave, and Artifact's in a lot of trouble. They're going to trade it back though. 𝘁𝗀𝗪 does go down, and 𝘁𝗀𝗪 now in the ultimatum. He goes down. Froggy slowed up, and this is all going wrong for the 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀. Team Secret certainly had a secret, and it's that they were here to win.
You're seeing the item and level advantages coming in for. Oh, never mind.
Oh, here we go. Another one. The taunt from 𝘀𝗀𝗪 is landing. Slater's actually taking a lot of damage. Has the style meter charge, but he's not level 6. This was perhaps just a little bit silly as 𝘁𝗀𝗪 has arrived. They're trying to turn it around onto 𝘁𝗀𝗪, but he's got the flash away. Alrighty, he's the first one to fall. Where's the level 6 for Samira? There it is. She's going to go into the haha circle, but doesn't get the damage. But it's still a 2-for-1. It's about to be a 2-for-2 as a certain little Udyr is going to get a nice little kill.
Yeah, overall, that bot lane play ended up being much more of a win for SGB as they share the gold around. They get much more money out of the assist gold, and it's a 2-for-2 overall. DNK is going to utilize this time to take this Rift Herald, and they did have to invest the TP. But
I don't think is it a win for SGB
maybe not
when
a
they
win as much.
They went 2-for-2 in a 4v2.
Maybe not a win as much, but it's really good. Compared to say this, where you have the level advantages really showing up, where that Artifact is basically able to kill, and DNK are able to kill 𝘁𝗪𝗪 in the 2v3. Then when Coated arrives, Froggy and 𝘁𝗀𝗪 have nothing left, so they can just break down another kill, almost take another one, and in the picture-in-picture, they've killed Froggy again.
That's a phrase. If you are playing VCS English Bingo, you can tick that box off. Picture-in-picture, they killed Froggy again. Because you're going to hear that a lot this split. It tends to happen. Yeah, I mean,
and it was just a really good. From what I saw, it was just a really good wall blocking Froggy's path of retreat off. Didn't have his flash. Yeah, here we are. DNK just walls him off, and then CBL even joins the party. So good shockwave, but there's nothing you can do there.
Yeah, that shockwave was very much almost a rage shockwave. It was never going to do anything. 𝘁𝗀𝗪 is a pretty good champion, as it turns out. Building walls makes it really hard for a control mage to get away. And this is sort of part of it is draft diff, for sure. I think we all agree that this was a pretty big draft loss for SGB. But at the same time, it's also Team Secret versus 𝘀𝗀∞ These teams are not equal in strength. There are a lot of rookies on the 𝘀𝗀∞ side. 3 of them, in fact. I just kind of want to see them put up a fight, but this early game has gone disastrously.
We've seen a couple of good attempts. Like the collapse into the bot lane was a good response. Unfortunately, Ariety and 𝘀𝗀 went down because Slater and CBL played that pretty much perfectly as they could once the backup arrived. And so they've been putting up a fight. It just hasn't really worked out for them. And now the dragon is going to spawn. And this time it's Team Secret who has the priority in the bot lane. So they're going to pick that up. And we're going to have to see if that's the Infernal Rift or the Mountain Rift. Either one really favors them.
Well, but you've stolen Yulwei's spot, so you need to take his position of guessing.
Damn it.
Okay. Nope, Infernal. Not
I said
quite.
Infernal first, so in the other one, so
That doesn't count. No, that doesn't count. And Slater will go back to just farming it up. We haven't seen any of the 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 ult moments. Has got 2 kills just from the early weird engage play. That could have gone a whole lot better.
Hasn't really had a proper fight post 6.
No.
Hit 6 in that engage and was already on like 10 health when she popped it. So we're gonna have to see what happens. Probably come around the second Rift Herald. Maybe we see a contest there. Maybe with the just sheer lane priority that Artifact has in that mid lane, SGB has to give it up. We will see what happens in that time, which is about 4 minutes away, if I remember correctly. But there's actually something happening mid lane, but DNK's here for the counter.
Yeah, BJ is charging in, but it's a 2v2, and 𝘀𝗀 will decide that's a bad idea.
Yep.
Gets on out of there.
He has decided to run in and then run away. He has that. He can do that because he's fast.
Also has an Orianna ball on his head, so
Yes.
gets even more speed boost from the command dissonance. Coded up on the top side is going even with 𝘀𝗀. The Gnar difference is sort of evening out, but again, this is sort of one of the criticisms a lot of people have with Gnar, is that he has to actually do something. And so far he's just going even with a Camille.
Yeah, so Gnar's finally hit his steel cap, so he's not going to be bullied around as much by Camille, and then he can use that range to his advantage and bully back. The Rift Herald, apparently that was gotten earlier, that I actually forgot about, has been summoned, and it's going to take down this mid lane, and that's going to give Artifact even more freedom to impact side lanes if he decides to roam around. They can also maybe decide to pivot Slater in there and set up a 1-3-1 to try and maximize their farm spread, as 𝘀𝗀's looking for something, but probably not going to find anything.
I think he's just getting control while they have some numbers around this mid lane. Team Secret doesn't need to throw themselves in and try and do anything silly, as Artifact will just push this wave in, and they could go and set up that 1-3-1, but it's also only 13 minutes in. It feels like a bit later because of how firmly Team Secret is ahead. But it's only 13 minutes. I think they're just going to keep farming. Team Secret doesn't need to force anything. I think that's actually the worst thing they could do, is go for like any big, let's just 5v5, let's do a VCS move. As much as we love it, don't get me wrong. Why would you do that? Why would you coin flip when you're the better team? It needs to be Buffalo forcing the coin flips, as DNK does get dove, but flashing away well, and the Buffalo have to back off.
Yeah, so they did. It's flash for flash in the end, jungler for support. So 𝘀𝗀's not going to be upset with that, but Slater might try for something. No, couldn't interrupt it back. Not going to have anything there. And with that reset, they could try and shove this bot lane tower, but more than likely it's not going to go down. It's probably got too much health. But actually no one's responding to it. SGB is going for that second Herald. And so it will be a 4v5 around that Herald, but Slater is going to get this uncontested. And even then, with the... actually, no, Slater is going to go join them in the top side. Maybe.
They want to take the fight. I'm not sure what Slater's doing. It looks like Slater is going to commit to just getting the tower. Alright, he has to burn his flash.
You shouldn't be able to get there in time. So if DNK can just wall them off and set it up.
Oh, look at this. They've broken them apart. BJ has charged in, and this is actually going well for the Buffalo, but it turns around. 1 for 1 at the moment. BJ doing well in the backside, trying to get at CBL. They will get that kill. 𝘀𝗀 the benefactor. Artifact is just free firing. The man is surfing around the edge of the fight. There it is. The triple kill. There, he could get the quadra. Can he hunt down 𝘀𝗀? 𝘀𝗀's on the run. I don't think he can catch him. A shame. No penta, but 4 is more than enough as it's a huge win. They were outnumbered, but they outfight, and Team Secret are dominating.
Yep. Turns out you don't need Slater to show up. You can just rely on a fed Lucian who is now 6-1 and has full control. He's going to be able to pick up that Essence Reaver on return most likely and just smash the gold advantage into SGB. 𝘀𝗰, even though has gone for the stride breaker, so he's not particularly tanky. He can't do what he can, and we're just going to see it looks very good. The wall from DNK actually does delay it and means that there's a lot of space for Artifact to do stuff on the backline. It means they can't completely blow up CBL. And then
why are you putting all of your time into CBL when there's a Lucian on the edge of the fight?
Yeah, just over committing towards that tank, that Leona, but it does. I can sort of see in the heat of the moment, we have Leona down to this lower health. We can burst her, but you can't burst her. It's Leona.
We come back to live though, as there is a 3v3 in the bot lane. A teleport is going to come in for both teams. CBL gets blown up. Slater does have access to the ultimate, hasn't pulled the trigger on it yet. Dodges away from the Gnar really well there. Still hasn't pulled the trigger. There it is finally, as he pulls out the guns, but it is going to be DNK that gets the kill, and it's another fight going in the favor of Team Secret.
And CBL is just so tanky that it takes them forever to burst him down. Slater with an excellent dash out of the Gnar ultimate means he's able to keep firing on the backline, save DNK from going down as well. And at this point, yeah, the gold lead is massive. It's more than 6,000, it's about 7,000 gold up, and my stream's buffering.
Oh, mine's okay. Hopefully,
that's unfortunate.
Hopefully, it should fix itself because of how we're doing it tonight. We'll figure it out. Let me know when you're back live. As BJ is getting caught out here, as Artifact will be getting another kill. No, Coded will actually take it away. Fair enough. Either one of them could take it.
Yep, you had to be insane going off your casting, so I'm just going to roll with it.
Yeah, and the way we're doing, the method we're using tonight should fix itself when there's buffers, so good stuff.
Okay. Hooray! We're improving. But yeah, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. It seems like that Team Secret just walked their way into that topside jungle and caught BJ trying to scrounge what farm he can, and it's really unfortunate. But that's scrounging what you can is kind of what you have to try and do. Unfortunately, wasn't teamed up with anybody, so just goes down alone. And luckily for SGB, there's not really anything that can be taken off the map. The Infernal Dragon is still a couple of minutes away. Baron's still a couple of minutes away. Team Secret does have that access to that Herald, but I imagine that's going to be saved to guarantee priority come one of the other objective spawns. So, or if Slater just forgets he doesn't have a ward. Because seen that happen.
Yeah, seen that happen plenty of times. I mean, let's kind of get down to brass tacks. We're at 19 minutes and there's a 7,000 gold lead for Team Secret. This is a bit of a 𝘀𝗀 to put it in
the scientific term.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of a 𝘀𝗀. Team Secret is just miles ahead. They have the run of the map. They say Slater's the best ADC in the league. He's not even the best ADC on Team Secret.
It's looking that way.
Artifact is 7-1.
It's looking that way.
Joking, of course. Slater just hasn't had to do as much. This is very difficult to see a way for Saigon Buffalo to get back into this. It is the VCS. Things we've seen wackier things.
Things can
but
happen.
It would have
definitely.
to be a colossal throw.
Yeah, things can happen. And with this Rift Tower going down, it looks like they're just going to try and make sure they have that tower down. They probably could have held it a little bit longer. I'm not 100% sure on the expiry timer on it. But now it looks like 𝘀𝗀 may be in a position where he can get caught.
Yeah, they are going to go into on him, but there it is. He just dashes straight over the wall, has the shield bow proc, so he's safe. Wall comes in, isolates 𝘀𝗀, but they can't actually follow up on it at the moment, so the wall will just fall. 𝘀𝗀 survives, but so did SGB.
Yeah, 𝘀𝗀 was caught out there, but still had his flash, so he was probably never in true danger. The entire time, 𝘀𝗀's been whacking down this bot lane tower, so that's just another win for Team Secret, and that's just gold advantage. 𝘀𝗀 being on a very slippery champion as well, and now they're going to use this pressure to get this mid lane tower.
𝘀𝗀 didn't even have flash.
Yeah,
he gets away from the full engage combo without flash.
He's over the wall. If you want to balance Samira, just make it so she can only E in, and then there you go. That's her fixed. Sorry, Riot hire me. And now they have, but all this time has given Team Secret the option. They can try and use the Baron, the dragon, as bait for that Baron, or they can actually no, never mind. TNK is in position. He's just going to pick that up on spawn. They've got good vision upper in the top side and in that bot jungle, so they should be able to pick up dragon for pretty much nothing.
Ooh, Artifact is caught out here. A lot of CC, but CBL with a very smart solar flare just to stop 𝘀𝗀 entering the fight. The culling doing so much damage. And it's a 3v2, but it's a two-man shockwave. 𝘀𝗀 actually kind of popping off. 𝘀𝗀 arrives, but Artifact goes down. CBL very, very low. 𝘀𝗀 is basically in a 1v4, but he goes into the funny circle, gets the double kill, he gets the triple kill, and he's on for the quadra. Never mind, it's stolen away by 𝘀𝗀. But a fight that should never have gone the way of Team Secret does in fact go their way.
And in the 4v4, they pick it up. DNK was on the dragon the entire time. Now they're going to go down and pick it up. The lifesteal is insane. The collector passive with Samira ultimate is ridiculous. And there's got enough health on them because of that lifesteal that they can pick up the Baron off of it. And they haven't exactly blown the game open because it was already open. They've just decided to take the door off its hinges and throw it out into the street. And let's look at this. They actually get the catch onto Artifact, but he's able to stall for so long with his with making space with that culling. But excellent shockwave from 𝘀𝗀 makes it look like they're going to turn it around. But 𝘀𝗀 is able to get in, build up that style, and just lifesteal like crazy, even using the Krugs to lifesteal a little bit within that ultimate. And Samira, man. When Samira looks on, he's broken.
Yeah.
She's broken, rather. Sorry.
Yeah, Samira is very, very strong. 𝘀𝗀 coming up and just doing an excellent bit of janitor duty. Artifact as well put in a huge amount of damage in that fight. Just didn't actually get to finish them into kills. We had a little bit of stream lag. Hopefully that's just on my end.
That's just fine. Yep.
Okay, good. But we'll still be synced, I'm sure, as the inhib is under siege, survives for now, but the bot lane tower does not. Baron was secured off of the back of that play while we were watching the replay. And Team Secret, they're going a little bit slower than Yulwei thought, but not by much.
Yeah, no, definitely not by much. They've just, on this next wave, they should be able to break this mid lane inhibitor turret. Then they can look to push on to the inhibitor. 𝘁𝗀 is completely caught out of position. He's just going to die, but oh no, actual fight.
Trying to turn it around. He was pretty tanky there as he was going for the flank. Oh, an excellent solar flare out of CBL to hold them up, but it was answered by a really good shockwave by 𝘀𝗀. But it just doesn't matter. The lead is too big. Samira is spinning. Samira with the quad kill, but no! She goes down to a Riot. How rude. No penta. But it is going to be the ace. It is going to be the game.
We've had two quadras out of both ADCs. 𝘀𝗀 did not want to be outdone by
There were three
Artifact.
moments where there was nearly pentas this game.
Yeah, it's true. It's insane. 𝘀𝗀, he's putting his stamp down. He's not going to be outdone by Artifact, but Team Secret is not going to be outdone by SGB. There you go, Yulwei. 24 minutes, 27 seconds. you get those. You can have that
take
one.
that. You absolutely take that. And Team Secret has just dismantled the 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀. Now, this is definitely not unexpected. Team Secret being one of the best teams in the league, 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀, we all agree, is the 8th place contender. I am happy to see how Team Secret played it out, though. I think they looked really, really clean. The calls looked good, and I liked the draft. What can we say? Another one like that, please.
Yeah, I think SPT. I think Team Secret is definitely going to be looking like one of our best teams, especially early on in the split. And if they put up another game like that against Buffalo, I have very, very high hopes for them. On the side of Buffalo, though, I think you could look to. I don't know really what you'd be looking to do. Fix your draft. Try and get a bit more of a get champs with a bit more lane priority in your solo lanes rather, and give 𝘁𝗀𝗃 a little bit more room to shine. Don't put him on 𝘁𝗀𝗃. Put him on something that can carry a bit easier. Put him on 𝘁𝗃𝗃. Put him on Graves.
Yep.
We'll see what they have for us in the next game.
We will see. It is going to be about a 6 or 7 minute break until the next game. Don't go anywhere, guys. There'll be a timer on screen. If you do want to support the stream, we really do need some donations at the moment. Things are a bit rough, but don't worry about it. If you can't, no pressure. We will be back in just a bit. My name has been Everyday. With me has been Vinnie, and we'll have Yulwei back with us when we get back in just a few minutes.
There once was a ship that put to sea.
Kiss the feathers of a hummingbird in flight.
Welcome back, everybody. It was a destructive performance out of Team Secret in Game 1. The Buffalo were headed off at the pass and did not have a chance to charge. Once again, my name is Everyday. With me is Vinnie and Yulwei. And Yulwei, what was your take on that first game?
24 minutes. I told you.
You did?
Yeah.
Very impressive performance. From start to finish, they dominated every single lane. The only close lane, I believe, was bot lane for a few minutes, and then it wasn't close anymore. Top lane, Coated looked good against 𝘁𝗏 in a decent but sometimes difficult matchup, and mid lane was utter destruction. So what can you say? Just from start to finish, nicely executed, good macro. Maybe a few risks maybe against better teams, they need to be careful about some of the risks they took. Rifthold fight, very bad Taliyah ult. But other than that, almost flawless.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a few more risks when you're at like 6,000 gold at 13 minutes. But yeah, look, we said the biggest thing about Team Secret was the solo lanes are a bit inconsistent, and my god, they were on today. They were on that game, and if they put up anything close to that, SGB, oh boy, does not look good for them. It looks fantastic for Team Secret.
Yeah, I want to focus on the Team Secret side because I feel like there's not a huge amount to read into here for SGB.
Yeah,
they are a rookie team. They kind of just got destroyed. But I actually think we can read into some things from Team Secret. I think their players were interacting really well together. This is what we said, well, at least what I've said, and I think you guys agree with me, gives them an advantage, at least early in the split. Their core has played together for donkey's years, right? They have been together for so long, they don't have to re-gel. Teams like SBTC, GUM, and the like all have to learn how to play with each other. Secret doesn't. They're going to hit the ground running.
It's pre-existing synergy.
Yeah, exactly. And the team Secret, it looks like they're going to hit the ground not running. They're going to hit the ground sprinting and bloody blaze past Usain Bolt. Like, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, they're looking super good. We haven't seen every single team, but from every team we have seen, I think this was by far the cleanest game. Maybe Cerberus game 2 against 𝘀𝗀𝗃 comes close. But yeah, just
I think this was cleaner. I think this was cleaner than either Cerberus game.
Probably.
Maybe you could argue 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is a very much better opponent though.
I would argue it wasn't cleaner, but it was also but the decision making was made much more sense in terms of why it wasn't cleaner. They had such a good lead that it was like, we can take these much more low percentage plays which don't look which are not necessarily cleaner, but when you're at that sort of goal advantage, I don't blame you for taking those.
So one thing we have to look out for Team Secret, maybe not today, but in future weeks and future series, what happens when draft is closer? Because draft was handed to them on a silver platter, right? The 𝗙liche, why? That spot is so weird to me. They pick 2 AD carries and 1 AD top laner. They have to pick AP jungler, and there are like 3 viable AP junglers, 𝗙liche, Lilia, and 𝗙liche. And 𝗙liche is by far the best of the 3. Everyone agrees on that.
Yeah.
𝗙liche is banned everywhere, and they just leave 𝗙liche open. Like, come on, guys. And then they pick 𝘀cie into 𝗙liche, please.
It's really weird. Like 𝗙liche, yeah, sure, DNK has a solid 𝗙liche, but as we go into the draft, 𝗙liche is like
not a hard carry in the late game. Like, she brings 80 damage, but she can't hard carry team fights. 𝗙liche can.
Yeah, like DNK is a good 𝗙liche player, but it's still a 𝗙liche. 𝗙liche is viable, but she's by far the weakest of those 3 AP junglers. She's about on that 𝘀cie tier for AP damage. So, ban the 𝗙liche. I guess they were just saying, hey, DNK, can you play 𝗙liche? Yes, he can. Now I hope you ban it.
So now I want to see 𝗙liche, because 𝗙liche is still very strong, and DNK is one of the best 𝗙liche players in the league. Probably
Stop pandering to production.
I mean, it would be great for Spoods as well, yeah.
That's the 𝗙liche ban. Thank you, Team Secret.
I mean, this is I think quite smart from Team Secret. They're going to force a trade. Olaf is removed as well. Still so much up. Team Secret, what do you think of this? I want to sort of get your take on it, Yulwei. We see SGB banning very meta. Maybe Thresh isn't quite meta. That's more a CBL ban. But Team Secret, 𝘀ecie and 𝗀cie are 100% target bans.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because the team you're supposed to be the better team, right? You know your players are the better players. There are a lot of rookies on the other side. So what's the worst thing that can happen? That they shock you with picks, with unexpected or even expected power picks, where the players perform way better than their actual level. So banning away the 2 specialty champions in 𝘀ecie and 𝗀cie, especially on blue side, makes so much sense. I really like this ban strategy.
Yeah, the banning away the 𝘀ecie in particular, definitely you're definitely taking away one of Froggy's best picks. You're putting Froggy on to his next tier down. Maybe he's gonna still play this 𝗀cie, but taking away things like the 𝘀ecie and the 𝗀cie, yeah, they're newer players. Take away their main comfort, take away their best picks, and just smack them time and time again. DNK's decided to pick up this 𝗙liche now, so, and very interested to see that Ariety's gone for the Xayah instead of something like the Aphelios, like the Samira. Could be a sign of worse things to come. Could just be they want that Xayah Rakan duo and really want to prioritize the Rakan.
Xayah has kind of cropped up again as a counter pick to 𝘁cie, especially if 𝘁cie is first pick. Xayah can be a very good pick into 𝘁cie.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad pick, but it's down a tier from what.
Yeah, her power level is not quite as high as 𝘁cie, but I think her priority and her popularity will rise with 𝘁cie being the number 1 ADC, because Xayah, as we said before, can actually win lane, can win late game into Xayah. She can dodge 𝘁cie's burst damage and then counter with more consistent DPS. I'm a very big Xayah fan. She's my favorite ADC in the game. I think she has the best design of all the ADCs. And I'm kind of sad that the first game we get her on is for SGB, but maybe Ariety can shock me. Let's see.
Maybe. I may be questioning the strategy of 𝘀cie going for the second wave of bans. I would like to see a Rakan ban just to stop that duo. Rakan is also a very good support. But if they are just going to read that 𝗀cie back into that support position, which, yeah, I mean, 𝘁cie didn't do badly on it, but it wasn't very impressive in my opinion. So we'll see. I would like to see that 𝘀cie go to 𝘀𝗀𝗎. No
Actually
Lucian
think
ban,
leaving
that's still an
Rakan
option.
open Isn't too bad because
You
we
just pick
know.
Leona.
Oh, interesting. CVL is actually not in it.
Yeah, I
We're
just
5-1.
noticed they're playing a trainee.
Ooh.
Okay.
So calling
Fair enough.
SGB out and saying, okay, you can't beat us if we play our actual roster. You probably can't beat us with the trainee support either. So let's give him a game. Interesting. Maybe he can bring us the 𝘀. I'm really waiting for the 𝘀. She's a super cool champion.
Nope, it's
Seems
Leona.
like it's old 𝘀.
It's old 𝘀. I mean, look, Leona is the best support at the moment on the patch.
You think so? Interesting.
I think so. She's certainly the highest priority one. I really like 𝘀, but Leona kind of does what 𝘀 does a little bit better. So, with this pick, Artifact going to go for this Irelia into the 𝘀𝐿𝑎io. I'm very... Wait.
They could swap lanes here. That would be interesting. 'cause,
Yeah.
Wait, no,
Cabal-
wait. That's Renekton mid.
Yeah,
Never mind. I
That
just
is-
completely forgot there was a Gnar in the draft. So, that is Renekton mid.
Huh.
That's an interesting one. Okay.
So,
That's
They've
one
very
way to get
bruiser in
𝘀𝗀𝗎 to win
composition.
lane.
this is not what I would have thought of as a 𝘀𝗀𝗎 champion, but we basically have two top lanes at the moment with Irelia versus.
Can we just swap the bot lanes into mid lane so we have two actual top lanes?
Yeah, sure. Give it 20 minutes into the game and I'll do it. Set up 1-3 runs, but okay.
Interesting one. So more lane priority this time for 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀, which I think is important for them because they lost the game before the game even started for them last game with not only pick and bans but also laning phase with a lot of kills and early pressure to Team Secret. So picking a stronger laning phase for themselves makes sense to me. The Renekton is known as a counter pick to Camille, so I'm not sure if Renekton is maybe even going top lane to counter Coated over there and 𝘁𝗏 goes mid into Irelia. Irelia
Mid
into
Gnar
Gnar,
doesn't really work though.
yeah, and Gnar into Irelia is super hard to play in the long lane, so
Yes.
it's an interesting swap here. Gnar Camille last game was just pretty even. Coated was able to just scale to a much more relevant stage than 𝘁𝗏. So I'm once again kind of favoring Team Secret's comp, but not as hard as last game. I actually think 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 improved massively. Better picks for themselves in bot lane, mid lane, and jungle.
I think there's decent potential here for 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 for 𝘁𝗀𝗎 to be a really pivotal factor. When it comes down to these big team fights, it's actually going to be kind of hard for them to stop the Lilia. She's just going to kind of prance around them if they go into the team fights even. If they go into them from behind.
Lilia into
we'll
Camille is a little bit rough for Lilia because
But-
Camille can just R and then Lilia wants to walk away with all her movement speed but can't. It's a rough matchup.
Sure, but there's so many, like, there's a Gnar, that kind of thing. But anyway, we will get Yulwei's final thoughts and then a prediction. You were very accurate last time.
I think this one is going to be a little bit closer. I think 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 has a little bit of fight left in them, and I'll predict 33 minutes, I guess, and Team Secret, of course, in the end.
Okay. Just flexing by giving a game time. We don't tell him to do that. He just does it because he thinks he's cool. Anyway, Vinny, let's get it going. It's going to be you and me.
Yeah,
to win this game too.
I have to agree with Yulwei's points. It's much more even, if not winning lanes for the side of SGB. I think TS, I think Artifact might be able to pull out and win that mid lane, not so much in priority, but in terms of actually maximizing the gold that you get out of it. Because as we all know, 𝘀𝗀𝗎 and CS, I wasn't actually tracking that so much last game, but any deficit wasn't really important in that regard because he was just getting smashed around by Artifact on that Lucian. So we'll see how it goes in this lane, but it's actually Artifact taking it to 𝘀𝗀𝗎 pretty strongly in the early game.
I mean, it makes sense. It's Irelia level 1, right?
Yes.
No one really beats Irelia level 1. Can definitely get some free damage onto the Crocodile as long as he plays around his stacks well. Down on the bot side, looks like Team Secret did get a good trade there as well, but nothing that's going to really swing the matchup. We haven't seen a huge amount of Xayah recently. I love the champion, but it has been a little while.
Yes.
Definitely doesn't seem like she has priority in this lane.
No, she should have priority. I think most of the failing in priority is the spot matchup. That happened.
Wow. All right.
That was just an early level 2 into an all-in, and they completely blew up 𝘀cie, nearly killed 𝘀𝗏𝗏, and that should completely undo the pick power of the Xayah. The Galio's lane weakness is just coming up, is just showing up, and DNK has found 𝗀𝗀 in the jungle and is bullying him out.
Ooh, a good stun.
Now there's 2v2s out.
Yeah, they are under tower though, but they're actually going to charge on forward, try and blow up Artifact. They do it successfully, but he trades it straight on back. 𝗀𝗀 prances away, but it's just a flurry of damage and 2 dead mid laners.
Yeah, and with that, and with both mid laners going down, it's we're just going to see the replay, and yeah, just going to hit level 2 first off this minion, and then it's an off one of these minions, and then it's just an all-in onto 𝘀𝗏𝗏. 𝘀cie tries to do his best, but ends up being run down by Slater and 𝘊𝗏 with the flash forwards. And all in all, very good setup. They knew how to play around their lane advantages, but 𝗀𝗀 is looking for something, probably not going to turn into anything because of how far back 𝘁𝗏𝗏's playing. DNK is also on the way up, currently taking this crab. So if DNK makes his way down into that bot lane, could end up double scuttling 𝗀𝗀, but not going to be the case. Gives away his position with the Scryer's Bloom. And so now that's just going to be a trade of scuttles. Top side pressure belongs to the secret. Bot lane much more in favor of SGB, as CBL is doing a bit, not CBL, sorry, 𝘊𝗏 is doing a bit of a run. It's like the same champion. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, 𝘊𝗏, this is, just to explain, evidently Team Secret thinks they can win this one pretty easily. I can't say that's a bad read. So they're deciding to give one of their rookies a run. Makes sense to me. If you're going to have the rookies on your roster, you may as well let them get some stage time when you can. CBL had a great game last game. It's definitely not an issue there. I kind of like it. We'll have to see how he does.
Yeah, and so far, 𝘊𝗏 has shown up very well. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Slater calling the shots in that 2v2, but 𝘊𝗏 playing that really well, gets that first blood down onto 𝘀𝗀𝗏, and yeah, really good showing out of him so far. Really good showing out of Team Secret so far as well. Pulling off to a small advantage.
We're being corrected by chat. Apparently it's more like 𝘊𝗏.
Oh,
more
𝘊𝗏.
like. Sorry about that. If we do pronounce things in Vietnamese wrong, I'm sure our community knows this, but if you're not, maybe you're not too familiar. If we do pronounce things wrong, please correct us. We just don't speak Vietnamese. We have no idea. So yeah, that's always appreciated.
Yes. So 𝘊𝗏, doing a very good job for himself. Meanwhile, in the other lanes, 𝘁𝗏𝗏's actually managed to start being a bit more of a bully. He's managed to give himself a bit of a CS lead. The jungle's about even, but Artifact and 𝘀𝗏𝗏, this is where most the lead is really coming from. There's that CS lead coming in. Actually, I mean, I suppose the first blood plays a big part in it too, but we do have to see what happens as the rest of the game goes on. SGB looking to start something up, and DNK is here.
Is going to be a bit of a 5v3. Sorry, I was just sorting out a tech issue. 𝘀𝗀𝗏 is caught out, immediately blown up. 𝘁𝗏𝗏 now very deep on that teleport, but he does bounce his way out with a kill. It's a 1-for-1, but they don't want to stop here. 𝘀𝗏𝗏 has the Dominus running, wants to get in on Slater, but look at all the free damage he's taking. Gets a decent heal with the 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗀𝗀 goes forward, gets the sleep off the cleanse from Slater. Might not be enough to get him out of there, but does let him deal a little bit more damage. A good jump away from DNK. 𝗀𝗀 so low. The spear misses though. 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 diving forward. He's going to pressure the 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏. Can he get that 1 or 2 more autos? A good dodge on the boomerang, but in the end, he gets away. He goes mega, so the minions can't counter kill, and SGB do very, very well.
So in the end, with all that, it was a 3-for-2 in a 5v4. Coded the entire time. It's just in the top side. He's gotten himself 2 plates worth of gold. So that basically just means the gold value is the exact same. So really good job from TS playing around that dive. Unfortunately, Coded did not have his teleport, could not join. If so, it would have been a disaster for SGB, but they managed to completely keep it around. The early engage onto 𝘀𝘁cie turned out massive, and from this point, I think they stuck around a bit too long. 𝘀𝘁cie coming in to keep them under tower takes so much damage and basically ends up giving him his life over. But a good sleep from 𝗀𝗀 means that they are eventually able to run down 𝗀𝗀 and Slater. And Artifact, yeah, no, actually, 𝗀𝗀, why did you turn around there? You could have gotten out for a nice 2v2. But
Very nearly gets that anyway.
turns around, very nearly kills 𝘁𝗃 in the process. Would have been like, so yeah, if 𝗀𝗀 hadn't turned around, it would have been a complete win for Team Secret. But as it is, it's sort of a very even trade. A little bit of an experience advantage going over to SGB. But overall, very, very well played from Team Secret. And we're seeing just how good these players are. If they're able to turn around and go for a 4v5 and make it almost an even trade.
Yeah, this was a good attempt out of SGB. It's yielded some pretty decent results. They are obviously still a little bit behind in gold, but comparative to last game, they're in a much, much better position, as you're saying. Let's see how they sort of continue to snowball it. 𝘁 getting 2 kills, has those plated steel caps now, as well as a phage. Should be very, very safe, as Artifact is looking very aggressive here. Throws out the ult, uses the flash as well, but doesn't want to chase too far into the fog of war.
I think actually he just mistimed his Q and it wasn't called down, but 𝘁1 in the mid.
𝘁𝘁1, he's in a lot of trouble as he's going very, very low. This is 4 members of SGB and they're climbing on in and they smash down Team Secret there.
That was terrible
kills, they're going to get a Drake.
That was terrible communication outside of Team Secret. 𝘀𝘁cie had just been forced into the river and Artifact returned to the mid lane as 𝘊1 goes in. So 𝘀𝘁cie is just halfway to bot lane already and just walks it in and
gives them that over.
And oh dear, Slater, come on, man.
But
he turns it around.
He gets 1, but it really is only a consolation prize, as he's not going to get this CS. He's not going to be able to do much of anything. He made
a terrible mistake. He should never have gone forward. But yeah, here we see 𝘀𝘁cie is already halfway down the river as 𝘁1 goes in. 𝗀𝗀 was there for the counter gank. They saw it was coming a mile away. And then with 𝘀𝘁cie showing up, it just guarantees that extra kill onto 𝗀𝗀. Slater goes in a little bit too aggressive on the back end of it as well. Is able to sort of outplay 𝘀𝘁cie a little bit and get a kill back, but it's another kill over to Arati. He's already on his Gale Force. And SGB are now in the gold lead. Not by much, but it's more than they ever could have hoped for from last game.
Yeah, this is fairly impressive so far. A lot better out of SGB, reading Team Secret's plays. Much, much better. But also, just bad communication. 𝘀𝘁cie had been forced down the river by Artifact, and it seemed like they weren't aware of it.
Yeah,
it's going to get SGB a Herald. They're in a really good position here. They can use this for some plates, keep the snowball going. And this time, their draft isn't terrible.
Yeah, it's given up so much priority in that jungle. It means those neutral objectives have gone over to the side of 𝗀𝗀. And now...
𝘁𝗀 getting so greedy. So greedy for the Demolish proc.
And... yeah, it's
silly rookie error. That was a rookie error. Coded and
error.
𝗀𝗀 are having a bit of a scrap. The 𝘁𝗁 ult is already used. Oh, the hook shot missing into the sleep, into the 𝘁. It's all going wrong for Team Secret. 𝘀𝘁cie joins the fray, as does Artifact. They immediately trade out. 𝗀𝗀 gets the spear. Can he get onto 𝗀𝗀? No, it's flashes for flashes. 𝘁𝗃 is throwing those little boomerangs. Oh, he gets the spear and gets the shutdown just as he dies. And it's a flurry of madness in the top side.
So in those two things, it was a 4-for-2 overall across the map, and 𝘁𝗀1, yeah, he's rookie mistake, but 𝘀𝗀𝗃 coming in clutch with that spear, managing to salvage of a terrible situation. 𝘀𝗃 played that fight so badly, and look at the CS, it is a disaster. 𝘀𝗃 on blue side, we mentioned his inconsistency. It's showing up in not even just series to series, in game to game. He tries to catch on to 𝗃𝗃𝗃, but completely flubs the hook and just ends up going down. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is able to sort of stall 𝘀𝗀𝗃 and Artifact from collapsing on the main group, gives his life, and then 𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗃 almost gets away, but a very, very good spear at the end there. Walks straight into it, predicts the dodge upwards, and gets that kill back, which they desperately needed, because oh boy, it's looking a lot worse for Team Secret this game. I think they'll be able to turn around come the 5v5, so I'm not going to count them out yet, but it's looking really good for SGB.
This is the kind of thing SGB wants to hang their hat on, because so far 𝘀𝗃𝗃 is the one sort of known quantity on this team. He's good. 𝘀𝗃𝗃 is legitimately good. We are quite negative about SGB, but not
he's
so
also
much
built
𝘀𝗃𝗃.
properly this game. He's
nice.
gone for the fleet footwork. He's gone for the gore drinker instead of the stride breaker.
Yeah.
So, and look, it's done wonders for him. He's bullied the lane properly, and as 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is caught out
𝘀𝗀𝗃
for a
is
trade,
caught out, but a
𝘁𝗃𝗃
Galio ult is going to land as well as a teleport, and they've just left 𝘀1. He's just a sacrificial lamb. Nothing he can do there. The Leona goes down, and SGB win out the play.
And we're just sort of seeing a bit of weakness coming in from Team Secret. They are not able to kill 𝘀𝗀𝗃, who only has his Iron Spike whip and plated steel caps. He is not exactly rolling in the... He has not exactly got a completed gore drinker or anything like that to keep himself alive. He's barely got... He doesn't actually have much at all, but there's no damage coming out from Artifact, despite the Blade of the Ruined King, despite the Night Harvester from 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃. And it's the Night Harvester from 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃. Of course it is, but...
Of course it is.
Lads.
Never happening there. It's the VCS. They're not building Moonstone. That doesn't do damage. It is the Night Harvest in Italy. Night Harvest in Italy, I don't hate. Moonstone is better, but I don't hate Night Harvest in Italy.
No, look, it's good, but not optimal. It's not like he's built Prowler's Claw or anything, despite the flavor win on that.
Yeah, true. But it is focusing on sort of what's been going on here. This seems like a little bit of a collapse of Team Secret communication, and it makes me think CBL is going to be a very important voice for this team.
Yes, you're looking at the complete difference in terms of how they're roaming around the map. There's communication in terms of when they're picking their fights, and it definitely does seem like CBL may have been actually playing a really big part in their decision making in the last game. Draft diff and the gold advantage they've gathered from that does also make decision making easier, but you're sort of seeing Team Secret sort of wander around, not really knowing what to do, trying to make picks, but not having the burst damage in their kit to do it. And so at this point, it's full control for SGB, and we may actually see them move to take a game. It is only 16 minutes though, despite how much action there's been, which makes it feel like it's been going on a lot longer. I mean,
it's the VCS. We're at 19 kills in 16 minutes. We're at at more than a kill per minute. Of course we are.
It feels so weird. It feels so weird trying to do research on other regions and then coming back to VCS and going, okay, we go from 1 kill in 20 minutes to 19 in 16. This region is so much fun. Gotta say
it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. The aggression is why we're here. And I've got to say, so far, 𝘀𝗃𝗃𝗃 are doing really, really well with it. Obviously, this Nar is now 4-0. The biggest criticism we have of Nars, in general, not just the VCS, is you actually have to do something. Nar, you actually have to accomplish something, and it's difficult to accomplish something because you can't control your minis and megas. 𝘁𝗀𝗃𝗃 has done stuff. He's 4-0. He's doing really well. has the Gore Drinker, has the boots, is in a great position to keep Coded honest. This should be a second Rift Herald here for SGB if they want to commit, but we might actually have a bit of a ruckus.
Might finally have our first team fight as Coded's going in.
Artifact's gone to sleep. That's only a one-man sleep. Coded diving into the backside. The 𝘀𝗹𝗺 ult will be called in immediately. He just goes down. Artifact trying to get the job done. Can't really deal the damage. 𝘀𝗏 went far too deep. Lilia with the double kill. 𝘁𝗀 just trying to get out of dodge. And 𝘂𝗋𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗀 are kind of bopping him.
Team Secret's communication is terrible. They're just walking in one at a time. It's not a 5v5, it's 5 separate 1v5s, and that is always going to lose for Team Secret. Slater's doing his best to get a kill back onto 𝘁𝗲 and outplay him, but it's not going to happen with 𝘀𝗀gy coming to assist. And that's a free Rift Herald that they can just drop in the mid lane. The top lane turret was prepared earlier, and they're not even going to need that Rift Herald to take that mid lane turret. They can just save it for later, save it for the dragon, save it for the Baron. They can do so much. They have so much pressure on this game, and Team Secret, the collapse is so real without CBL. And I mean, don't want to put it all on 𝘁𝗏 as it's not his fault.
It's not 𝘁𝗏's fault. It's that you remove CBL's voice. Let's have a look at this replay.
You see Artifact is slept on the sideline as Coded really commits, goes without his team's ability to follow. 𝘁𝗏 follows in after he's already dead, and then Slater and 𝘁𝗀 are just left going, we can't do anything. Slater tries to get a recall, but he gets cut off by 𝘁𝗲, cut off by 𝘀𝗀gy. He has no means of escape, so he just tries to outplay 𝘁𝗲 and try and get a kill back and then escape, but can't do anything. 𝘀𝗀gy joins in, and he just gets run down. Nothing he could do there. Does his best, almost gets something back onto 𝘁𝗲, but he's so far down. 𝘁𝗲's 5-0-5 now. And this lead is actually getting to a point where Team Secret are going to have to really struggle. They've had their chance at a team fight. They've lost that chance. And now that with the Rift Herald crashing down mid, it should take this tower. It's not going to if Variety backs off, but that opens them up for the Baron that's spawning in 20 seconds, the Cloud Drake in 40. It's just going to be another objective to SGB. Team Secret is really struggling to do anything right now, and you're seeing the communication just fall apart for this team. Which is a shame, because this was meant to be one of their strengths with a very solid roster. Coded, 𝘁𝗀, and Artifact have been playing together for a year at least. 𝘁𝗀 and Artifact have been together since 2019. But we're seeing this rookie voice come in. It's taken out CBL, and
I mean, I don't think it's all.
It's not all 𝘁𝗏. It's not all 𝘁𝗏. Coded's playing much worse.
Exactly. That's what I want to get at. I think Coded has been playing quite badly. I don't think 𝘁𝗀 is looking very good on the Nidalee either. And I think we are in a position where SGB is heavily favored to take this game, even considering who the two teams are. They have a 4,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. They're about to take their third Drake. They're now on Cloud Soul point. 𝘁𝗁 is incredibly fed, and if you wanted one person on SGB to get fed, it's 𝘁𝗁. Ariety is also 4-0-6, has the Gale Force on the Kai'Sa. And throws at
7.
Exactly. Throws are definitely still possible, but not easy. Like, honestly, SGB are in a really, really good position, and the question becomes, who on Team Secret is going to be the one to right the ship? 𝘁𝗀 is 1-3 on Nidalee. Pretty hard to do that. Slater, he's a fantastic player, but he's not doing well this game. He's quite far behind his opposite number. Not easy to do it. Artifact has not looked very good this game on the Irelia. Same with Coded. Who rights the ship?
Yeah, I think they just but they are just lacking that strong voice that's really telling them to go in as a team. We saw, especially in those team fights, we saw them funnel in one at a time. That meant they just gave over 3 kills and eventually 4 kills with no response. So it's just looking like they lost their main form of their main voice, their main shot caller, and as a such, they're struggling. Individual plays is also a part of it. 𝘀𝗃 completely just is not relevant this game. Hasn't really been relevant from the word go, whereas he was winning that matchup in the first game. He's lost it in the second, and with not too much, with I guess a change in runes, but that really shouldn't affect the matchup in the level 1 and 2 to start with. So it's the inconsistency of 𝘀𝗃, it's the lack of a shot calling voice, and it's really just given SGB this chance to pick up a game against a team they really had no right to pick up.
Yeah, I mean, this is something to keep in mind looking at Team Secret. You know, CBL is not meant to be the shot caller from what we kind of know. It's meant to be DNK and 𝘁𝗍𝗪. Evidence may be suggesting otherwise, but that's what it's meant to be. And, like, if you play like this against... like, even if you play better than this, but still worse than Game 1, you're against SGB right now. What if you were against 𝘁𝗀𝗻? They'll rip your arm off. Like, you give 𝘁𝗀𝗻 a fingernail, and they'll pull your arm out of the socket. SGB are playing very, very well, don't get me wrong. This is the best they've looked as this roster, including in the promotion tournament. But they're still one of the weaker members, and this is worrying for Team Secret.
Yeah, it really is. And I have to give props to 𝘁𝗪 that despite the really weak laning phase, which we expected him to be one of, if not the worst AD carry in the league, he has actually performed really well in these team fights. He's performed really well outside that first 2v2 kill, which 𝘁𝗀𝗪 had to sacrifice himself for. But really strong, really good positioning out of him. Really, he's been able to get a lot of damage down in these fights, and it hasn't really just been 𝘁𝗪𝗔 carrying, even though 𝘁𝗪𝗔 has a very good scoreline. Look, I mean, 4-0-6 is also impeccable for a Xayah. 𝗀𝗃, everyone's doing really well. 𝘀𝗀gy is, of course, 𝘀𝗀gy, so he's still somehow down on his...
But he's also, like, jokes aside, he has been playing a really important role in fights. He's been... he's been dying and not really picking up kills, but he's just been being annoying and getting in the way, and it's why Artifact can't carry. It's why DNK and 𝘀𝗃 are struggling. It's just 𝘀𝗀gy just zoning the hell out of them. And, his scoreline doesn't reflect it. It's 𝘀𝗀gy, so he's down 60 CS. Of course he is. The joke is very easy to make, but I actually think he's been performing really well. This has been a fantastic team effort out of SGB.
𝘀𝗀gy has been doing his role. He's, of course, it is 𝘀𝗀gy, and you have to continue to criticize 𝘀𝗀gy for the fact that he is not getting CS. He is still in a situation where he should be well ahead of Artifact. He is behind, but overall, he's been doing really well. He even looked pretty good in that last game, despite once the laning phase was over. So I have to say, big props to 𝘀𝗀gy. He's still continuing to improve from last year, but
He's drawn a ban 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
When has that ever happened?
Last year when they were banning 𝘁𝑎𝑚 every game.
Yeah, true.
Because he can only play a couple champions. But he's shown a bit more flexibility with this Renekton pick.
This is going to be 𝘁𝗀𝗪, by the way.
This is an uncontested 𝘁𝗀𝗪 for SGB. 𝘁𝗪𝗔's just going to grab that, and now there's only really Baron to play for. And I mean, we have to criticize SGB a little bit. They should be pushing their advantage a little bit more. They've done pretty well to set up the 𝘁𝗀𝗪, but that feels more like a gap in Team Secret's vision rather than a move for theirs. All this attention was focused around the Baron. That's where all the vision is from both teams. And then it's just like 𝘁𝗪𝗔, no one was checking the timer except 𝘁𝗁𝗔, who just went, hey, there's a dragon here. And so that's what they got.
Yeah, and I mean, it is just a 𝘁𝗀𝗪. Obviously, it's not the most impactful. But there are some characters on the SGB that really do like it. Xayah loves it. Renekton loves it. Gnar doesn't mind it either. And it just shows that Team Secret are really, really on the back foot. Ooh, 𝘀𝗏 is caught out here. The CC chain is landing. A good flash away. Can they finish him off? The solar flare will not save him. And 𝘀𝗏 will once again be tasting some grey screen.
And they're using this pick to go straight towards Baron.
Yep.
Artifact, he's completing his recall, so he's got the teleport. He's going to come in, but can they do anything? 𝘀𝗀 is in a terrible position to get into this dragon. Yeah, Baron's already gone.
It's gone.
And
yeah, they can't fight this. SGB just get to walk out for free.
Slater has to stay alive.
Ooh, they're popping the move speed. They want to get a catch. The swirl seed doesn't land, but the Q will. The instant cleanse to stop the sleep. 𝘀𝗀 going very, very deep. Pops the Zhonya's to stay safe. Ooh, a little bit more damage, and 𝘀𝗀 landing a spear, but Slater does go down in the end.
Yeah, 𝘀𝗀 able to get something back as well, though, on the other side. It means it's a 1-1 overall, so valuable kill. Big. I assume there was a shutdown going over to 𝘀𝗀.
Yeah.
And huge, so that's actually a win in terms of that little trade. Of course, the Baron is still in the hands of SGB, and they can use that to move in and break this base open. They tried to chase down Coated on the top side, wasn't able to get that to happen, but they're going to just reset now, pick up some power points and power some items, and then hopefully pick up a few breakpoints like this, like the Dead Man's Plate, like the IE on the side of Variety, and now
Variety
they look to break the space. Oh yeah, he's got one item left. Sell your Dorans, buy your wards.
Sell your Dorans, buy your wards. Help your support out Variety, but no, he's gonna go full offensive starts. Who needs vision when the enemy's dead? Yeah, like obviously Xayah is not an ADC that's always in the conversation at the moment. She's not part of that quote-unquote holy trinity, but a 4-item Xayah will absolutely ruin a team. Variety is going to be able to do an absolutely filthy amount of damage. They're moving into this mid lane here, and Team Secret just can't stop them. And 𝘀𝗏, this is a statement game out of them, just saying, hey, you all wrote us off. You all had no faith in our rookies. You know, we were saying that Variety didn't impress us. Well, here he is going 5-0 against Slater.
Two-man sleepers is going in.
Yep, the sleep is there. 𝘀𝗏 charging on forward, gets the stun. They are just bullying Slater. He is immediately removed from the fight. Doesn't die, but he's in a lot of trouble. Coated will actually get a kill onto Variety, so this is actually going a little bit badly. Ooh, BJ nearly dead to the tower, but just survives. Coated does go down. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment. But Team Secret now rushing out of the base at full health. Do want to hold this off. Artifact going very deep. Slater doesn't have an ult to instantly join this fight. This is risky. 𝘀𝗀 jumps into the back line. They're dealing a lot of damage. 𝘀𝗀 went and got some health back from the creeps in the jungle. Artifact is low. And Team Secret, this is on an absolute knife's edge as 𝘀𝗏 gets Artifact. It's a double kill on the other side. And Team Secret have been cleaned out for the most part. The inhib is the next target. Can they win the game? I don't think so.
No, they definitely managed to survive the Baron buff, but those Baron minions were actually so crucial. We see it start off very well for SGB, going in on this 2-man sleep that seems important. That starts them off really well, but Slater gets out and is able to recover health at the fountain, and that tower is still there, wailing damage down, almost kills 𝘀𝗀, but Coated goes down early. On the return fight, it's these minions, these powered up Baron minions providing so much extra damage for SGB and absorbing so much damage from the side of Team Secret. His Q is just going onto these minion waves, not the champions he wants them to. And that's cutting his damage down by so much. He almost certainly could have killed 𝘀𝗏 if the Q had landed. Almost could have killed 𝘁𝗏 if those Q hadn't gone into these minions. But they stole out the Baron. They lose 2 inhibitors, and now this Elder Dragon is their last chance to get back into this game with a team fight. And 𝘁𝗏 is on the top side, setting up their wave.
Does have a teleport though.
Ready, is in Mega Gnar, so if they pull the trigger soon, he will not have that option available.
The Drake is spawning in momentarily. Team Secret does look like they want to jump straight on it. We need to have a look down there. The
They have to
dragon
pull,
is
they have to pull
pulled.
the trigger soon because
Yeah,
of Mega
yeah.
now. And they're
Exactly.
pulling it.
Yep, it is going down to about half health. Froggy on the front line. There's a big Irelia roll into the solar flare. The tower goes down on the top side, but look at the shield on Froggy. Look at all of the damage out of SGB. It was last chance saloon for Team Secret, and it looks like they're not the Cowboys. As Slater now kiting out. Alrighty, has a double kill. Slater can't complete the kill due to that stopwatch. It's going to be 3 kills picked up for SGB. 𝘀𝗃 is hunting down a 4th. He picks it up. It is only DNK alive, has the recall, and SGB are going to stroll into the base, and they're going to make this a 3-game series. That's
Their win. They managed to take down Team Secret in game 2. They are going to clean up DNK, maybe eventually, or he's going to hang out at the back line. Oh, nope, yep. 𝘀𝗃's going for it, but it's not going to happen in time. They're just going to take the Nexus. And that Elder Dragon fight almost looked like Team Secret could get back in, but the gold lead was just too great. All the damage went into Froggy, and he just lives through it all.
Yulwei,
Really great stuff from SGB.
Yulwei, you said 33 minutes. It doesn't count because you picked the wrong winner.
Oh, dear.
But with that...
He's got his times, though.
Yeah, he's good on his times. He's good at reading those. Anyway, with that, SGB has fired back, absolutely shot a salvo over the bow. Really fantastic performance out of them. I don't want to take anything away. They looked brilliant. All 5 of their players performing so far ahead of our expectations. And honestly, SGB, we've been critical of you. Prove us wrong. If you do that again, yeah, we look pretty dumb, but I'm happy to look dumb if it means we've got another really good team in the league. Let's see if they can complete it. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back. We didn't think we'd get here. We thought Team Secret would take a 2-0 quite easily tonight, but here we are. The VCS never goes quite as expected as 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 stormed into Game 2 and smashed Team Secret, forcing us to this 3rd game. Welcome back to the VCS English Analyst Desk. Yulwei, what was your take on that Game 2?
I don't really have a succinct take on the game.
Well, just give us some thoughts.
SGB looked good. What can you say? Actually, a lot of players stepping up. Froggy looked better. 𝗀𝗀, very impressive. Oh, I know my take. I thought about this in the game. It's not player related, it's champion related. 𝘁𝗍 over Nidalee. Why would you ever take Nidalee if you could take 𝘁𝗍? 𝘁𝗍 is just better.
The VCS English 𝘁𝗍 bias once again comes through. Very strong. I've missed it. Vinnie, what are some of your thoughts? You were obviously casting the game, but you've had some time to gather.
Yeah, it's a huge step up from the side of Buffalo. Definitely huge improvements across the board. Variety stepping up massively. 𝘁𝗀 stepping up massively on an actual champion this time, rather than a smelly man in a fursuit. Whereas on the other side, 𝘁𝗃, especially 𝘁𝗃, really just disastrous in lane and out of lane. His hook shots were bad. His decision making was shocking. He was going in all alone a lot of the time, and I think he basically spent most of the game without a single kill or an assist. He was like 0-3-0 at one point, and it's just you can't really have that.
I wouldn't be quite as hard on 𝘁𝗃, I have to say. I think he didn't have a great game, but I think most of the problems and most of his deaths were actually more of a byproduct by the communication being very bad. For example, the top side catch where they caught 𝘁𝗍, he did exactly what I predicted him to do, which is Camille ult straight on 𝘁𝗍 and just keep her in place and execute her when she can't run away with her 500 movement speed. It would have actually worked out if his team members would have followed in time. They just took forever to get there. That looked super bad because he was on a 1v2. But the play was to catch 𝘁cie, and there was clearly a play call, and some of the other players on the team didn't follow. So, yeah, I agree. He didn't have a great game, especially compared to the first one. But I think, yeah, the communication was an even bigger issue.
I think that's in part on him. He went in too early when his team was very far away. Plus, then 𝘀𝗀 came up and delayed them further, so he was left alone. Then he whiffed the hook shot on the re-engage. So instead of trying to back off over the wall or go back to where his team was and solo out 𝘀𝗀. So poor decision making on his part, tunneling a bit too hard on 𝘁cie in that case. I mean, communication was definitely a major factor across the entire game, as we saw. Like, the thing that really broke the game open for SGB was
the bot lane, crucial play there.
When 𝘁𝗏𝗏 tries to solo kill 𝘀𝗀, pushes him halfway down the river, then they collapse with 𝘀𝗀 already halfway to their location. So he just goes and helps.
Almost solo queue levels of miscommunication. Like, he had to go towards bot side. I guess the call was he was too low and has to back recall. But instead, he just went to bot lane, and then it was a 4v3, and they got 3 kills even. I don't quite remember.
I think 2 kills, and then
𝘁𝗏𝗏 afterwards for 1v1. Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, really bad communication, and Team Secret needs to clean that up. First game was super impressive. Second game was shockingly bad. So, not sure which of the 2 secrets we're going to see in game 3.
I have a feeling we're going to see the one with CBL.
Yeah.
Just a
CBL surely comes back in. This would be a very, very costly series to lose in terms of your whole split. You really can't afford to be dropping this. And on the other side, it would be super valuable for Buffalo to win it. If they want to, obviously, I think their goal is probably 6th place. If they can get 6th place and dodge relegations, that's a really good split out of them with 3 rookies. It's a long way to go, but picking up a scalp of Team Secret would be a damn good start. And we're going to have to see, because after game 1 and game 2, it's hard to predict which Team Secret we're going to get and who actually picks this one up. Let's talk more specifics, though. Yulwei, what picks do you think are going to be key in game 3?
I would like to see mid lane back to more lane dominant style for Team Secret. I think so far 𝘁𝗏𝗏 has actually looked pretty good today. Maybe the best Team Secret player of the day. And he absolutely dumpstered 𝘀𝗀 in game 1 with the Lucian against, what was this? Orianna, right. Orianna. So I would like to see another very strong, exploitable lane matchup in the mid lane. And then if you can snowball from there, maybe a little bit of a better ganking CC jungler from DNK, the mid jungle duo should win this game alone, I think. Against 𝘀𝗀, 𝘁𝗀, DNK, and 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 should be able to just carry every single game.
Yep. We are into the champion select. SGB return to the blue side, banning 𝘀𝗏 and 𝘀𝗏, and that's 𝘁𝗏𝗏 and 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 once again the bans from Team Secret. They don't want to let those 2 through, and honestly, I can't blame them.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what Team Secret are gonna try to do. I would be maybe more willing to say I was gonna say for both teams, throw away this 𝘁𝗏𝗏 priority. I don't think she's first pick worthy. I think if you're just trading 𝘁𝗏𝗏 for Samura's or Aphelios or whatever, your ADCs are so varied at the moment that you don't need to waste your first pick on getting that. Get a priority jungler, get something like the Taliyah. Of course, that doesn't matter because they did that anyway and picked up the Camille, but now Galio is being taken away from SGB, taken away from Taki, and going into the hands of either 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 or whoever their support player is.
Probably support. I think 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 secured his mid laner again. They did exactly what I wanted to see, which is just give 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 another very strong laner, the strongest laner maybe in the game, in the mid lane with Lucian mid lane. And now, what does 𝘀𝗀𝗏 do? His most comfortable champion on Galio is already picked away, so does 𝘀𝗀𝗏 go to another Orianna game? But Orianna against Lucian was not great.
Mid Ivern.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Almost certainly not going to happen, but Again,
It is going
Kind
to be
of does
enough
the
for
same as
Husband.
𝘀𝗏, right? So maybe he's familiar.
I mean, well, we're seeing 𝘁𝗏 has embraced the way of the 𝘀cie. He is a Nar one trick.
Yeah.
3 games in a row, blind,
Ooh.
and Coden's taking the Jace into it.
I'm not too sure it's actually coated because
Okay.
Artifact just had very, very strong gesturing
would
there on
mean-
stage.
Slater has to take the Lucian. Actually,
Yeah,
no,
and
Lucian
he's
can go
known
everywhere.
for Lucian. He is a known Lucian player.
So-
I don't think it's too unusual to see the Lucian go bot lane. Saw the flex, I think, in LCS last week as well. So
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
have to
C9.
see.
C9 opened up with the Lucian flex, I believe. So
Yeah, we'll have to see where they flex it into. There's a lot of variety, different arrangements we can have with this Team Secret draft so far. Taking away mid lane picks, seeing the Nidalee banned again, which is very interesting to me. I don't think it's necessary at all. Hopefully they ban the 𝗁𝗨 this time, and then we'd assume DNK would be picking up the 𝘁𝗨 or the Gragas. Probably the
can he
𝘁𝗨.
play Lilia? We'll have to see. His Lilia last
hasn't
split was
played it
very, very lackluster. So
It wasn't the most impressive, but the 𝘁𝗍 ban instead. That makes sense considering Slater put out impressive numbers on that. But that does open up the 𝗁𝗨 pick again. But it's just going to be a 𝘁𝗨 for...
I mean, this gives you the trade, right? This
I
gives you
am
the trade.
confused.
I would be taking 𝗁𝗨 over 𝘁𝗨
Yeah, for
9
sure.
times out
Can
of 10.
I actually don't hate this as much because 𝘁𝗀, you've got to remember, he's played the 𝘁𝗨. He played it in the promo series as well. He's very, very strong on it. So it's not just, what's
takeaway?
the strongest
Yeah,
pick for
fair
DNK? It's also a takeaway.
And if they
And it
rush
doesn't
back-
matter because 𝘁𝗨's getting all the way through draft.
Okay.
Can't
That-
believe what I'm thinking. Oh, a classic froggy champion here. Can they snowball 𝘁𝗏 with this one? This is so bot lane set. I really don't like support set right now. I think he's in a pretty
I don't
bad
either.
state.
There you go.
Oh, Jhin. Oh, this is completely different draft.
It is
They
going
changed
to
so much.
be Lucian mid.
I like the top side for Team Secret. Very strong laners. We saw Lane Kingdom in the first game. Jace known as a counter to Gnar as well, because you can just chase him down and dominate him from from being ranged as well. That's what I wanted to say. Bot lane self-sufficient, so I feel like Team Secret come out with a very different but very strong draft.
I also like how Team Secret this time have 3 winning lanes. Jhin, I mean, is self-sufficient, yes, but he's also a very strong laner. CBL's Galio into set, I think, also has that bit of lane pressure. And then Jace and Lucian speak for themselves. So very strong lane pressure coming out from the side of Team Secret, which should
Yeah,
speak
for sure.
mean the game looks a lot closer to the first than the second. So yeah,
So there is potential to snowball some of the lanes.
absolutely.
Jace will always be pushed up, always be past the midway point of the lane if he can't set up a freeze. So very easy gank target for 𝘀𝗏. 𝘁𝗏 on Grace, well, he's not the greatest ganker ever, but maybe he can be there for a counter gank into
But
Lilia.
there is good setup for the Graves and like Gold
That's true as well.
Gnar and set. So he just needs to bring the damage. And
Yeah, and the enemy team is mostly squishies, and then a champ that prefers to go into MR. So
Yeah.
if Graves gets off to a good start, he can actually deal damage in the late game, which is my main concern always with the champion. So doesn't look too bad here.
Well, follow it up your way with your final thoughts and an actual prediction.
I think Team Secret is back to win lane, win game style of play here, or draft, I should say, and they should win this game. I don't think it's going to be super dominant. I think the last game was a little bit of a damper, and they're going to be a little bit more careful. So maybe something around the 28-29 minute mark, if I had to predict another time.
You don't.
That's
You're
it.
choosing
never
to.
have to do that.
You never have to. He just does it to flex, and he's been alarmingly correct both games, even if he picked the wrong winner in the last one. I think 𝘁𝗏 going back to the Gnar for the third game is a bit risky. Because think about it, even though he had this massive lead, I can't think of any like really big Gnar ults or anything. he kind of didn't win by playing 𝗀. He just won by being a fed top laner. It didn't matter who the champion was.
Yeah, and this time around, he is taking it blind. This 𝗀, the other 2 times he knew it was into the Camille matchup, so it was something he was comfortable with. This time, he's been counterpicked by the Jace. We'll have to see how that pans out. I don't really know how this goes. It's range
Should be
versus
Jace
range.
favored. It should be Jace favored.
It is Jace, so 9 times out of 10, it's Jace favored until jungle intervention. And if he gets this push up, that can lead to gank openings for 𝘀𝗀 and 𝗀𝗀 on this twist on the 𝘀𝗀𝗶𝗹𝗀 duo, Twisted Fate and Graves. I'm a big fan of that. So we will have to see how they want to play this. At the moment, Graves is just falling a little bit behind in the clear to the 𝘁𝗀. That's to be somewhat expected. 𝘁𝗀 is just absurdly fast. And
particularly when she gets to start blue side.
Yeah, and you're seeing the respect given to this sort of different to the jungle start from Slater and CBL, letting the wave push into them, so they cannot really be threatened by a gank from this Graves. Whereas in the mid lane again, yeah, it's Artifact. He's on the Lucian. He's back to doing dirty things to 𝘀𝗀, and we're gonna have to see how he utilizes the mid lane pressure this time around.
Yeah, I think the big pivot point, or the big point of power in the early game, is going to be Artifact in the mid lane. He's going to have priority for the entirety of the laning phase. It's going to be really hard for 𝘀𝗀 to find opportunities to sneak away and get those destinies off. And then there's a question of even where does he go? The Jace isn't super easy to lock down, and it's super dependent on your 𝗀 timings.
Yeah, you kind of have to go towards that bot lane if you're Lucian. It's really unfortunate for them because Lucian doesn't have any setup. DNK doesn't really have any setup until post 6, and Jace certainly doesn't have any setup. So if all your CC is located in the bot lane besides a slow and a level 6 sleep. So if they want to get early moves, they have to push their way into the bot lane and try and make something happen off of this 𝘁𝗀, which does spell a little bit of trouble. They're gonna have to play through very smart rotations. They don't actually have all that much in the way of engage. They have a 𝘁𝗀, Swell Seed, and a curtain call to slow things down. That's it. That's all they have.
I mean, I think, unfortunately, I think you did mishear me a little bit. I was talking about where does Twisted Fate go.
Oh, where does Twisted Fate go?
I think if we're going to talk about Team Secret, I mean, I agree with you. It's hard for them to find a lane to gank. But I don't think Team Secret need to go to a lane. They just go to Dragon.
True.
They just take their mid lane prio and go to Dragon. Then they take their top lane prio and they go to Herald. That's where they go to the fight. I don't think Team Secret needs to go to a lane. Well, I think the Twisted Fate does want to go to a lane. And I think it's not super easy to find a lane to go to.
Yeah, with Twisted Fate, though, you definitely have a lot more options.
Speaking of going to a lane, Coded is getting ganked. He knocks 𝘁𝗲 away and instantly pulls the flash. It was traded for 𝗀𝗀's flash, so in the end it's a 1-for-1, but advantageous for SGB.
And that is a flash for a flash, and it's Jace's flash. That means he has no further escape tools. He doesn't have a cleanse or anything, so once 𝘀𝗀 hits 6, which should be very shortly, he can just make his way up to that top lane, try and dive Coded again and again. So they're gonna have to rely on very crisp communication to say, look, 𝘀𝗀 is missing, 𝘀𝗀 is running away, and as Artifact goes in for harassment, wins that trade out pretty handily with that last piercing light.
It does. I mean, this is going to be a very one-sided mid lane. Yeah, CBL is on the move, along with TK. 𝘀𝗀's very low, but
𝘁𝗀 matches it, so they cannot go for anything here.
They're going for this is Dragon setup.
Yeah, they can set up for this Dragon, and if Artifact can get a little bit more poke down onto 𝘀𝗀, now that he's forced out all his pots, they can try and turn that into it. Graves is hanging around though, and potentially Slater might be caught out because of this.
Yeah, they are collapsing in onto him. He is only a Jin. He is in a lot of trouble. Does have the flash, gets away from the smoke screen slow. But this could stop the... Oh, well done. A good taunt there out of CBL. 𝘀𝗀𝗋 gets chunked down, but this denies the dragon. SGB with the perfect move to stop Team Secret getting the early objective because Artifact hasn't moved.
Artifact's on his way now, and that taunt slash deadly flourish onto 𝘀𝗀𝗋. That's his name. Onto 𝘀𝗀𝗋 means that SGB also has the dragon taken away from them, so it's going to be a bit of nothing happening, and that's the first Twisted Fatal going to waste. I wanted to see him go more into the top side, punish this Jace. Maybe you would have had to give up the dragon in that case, but it's just a mountain at this stage. It's not a tanky lineup in the first place. So I think that was a bit of a waste of that first Destiny Gate, but it does.
I think
in the end,
a huge fumble. I think that was a big fumble there by Team Secret. That was a free dragon, and like as you said, yeah, okay, it's just a mountain drake, but you have the Lucian power now. You need to use your Lucian power, and Artifact didn't move.
Yeah, I mean, he got himself
he didn't move.
a star played out of it. So I sort of somewhat understand if the call was, hey, we're out, we're fine, we can go back to this dragon later. It works out fine. As the catch onto 𝘀𝗀𝗋 happened, Artifact did make his way down in case they stuck around for too long. But now we're seeing 𝘀𝗀𝗋 make his way up topside. Coded is in a hell of a lot of trouble, but DNK's there. Oh, and Spotline happens.
Oh yeah, bot lane is happening. Down goes CBL. Slater going forward. He wants to try and find a kill. There's a kill on Decoded. Observers are really having a good one. Having a real normal one at the moment. As it has been a kill on both of these lanes. 𝘀𝗀𝗋 tagged. The culling is out. Artifact, can he find a way in? You know who can find a way in? It's 𝘁𝗲. Artifact can't turn anything around. It's all Saigon Buffalo. What a disaster for Team Secret.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening for Team Secret. The call at the top side was they were in a very difficult position. Artifact makes his way up there and tries his best to get something back, but they aren't able to really get anything out of it. They aren't able to get anything out of it at all, actually, sorry. Whereas very good play from 𝘁𝗲, very good play from 𝘀𝗀𝗋. He went to the top side this time around, as we're seeing a replay here. Yeah, DNK's at half health from his jungle clear, and Coded's just stuck on the tower. There's nothing he can do. 𝘀𝗀𝗋 walks up, hits him with the gold card. There's plenty of burst. DNK has that sleep early, but he doesn't really capitalize on the extra damage. He waits a little bit too long for the W rather than just queuing in. So doesn't get extra damage out of that. Ends up stepping too far forward, and 𝘁𝗲 hitting that Mega Gnar at the right time to finish off that kill. Artifact can't find anything with the culling. It just suffers really hard. So that's gonna blow open this top side for the side.
At my door. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry, someone is banging on my front door.
Fair enough.
I apologize.
So, yeah, it's going to open up the top side for the side of SGB. They're going to have a good advantage for the side on 𝘁𝗲, on BJ, on 𝘀𝗀𝗋. Whereas in the bot side, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Everyday went, had someone banging on his door. That's where he is. Okay. So as pretty much we're just left with, I had my train of thought interrupted. Sorry. Bot lane just found the catch onto CBL. The Galio's just not very tanky at this point in time. The set, I assume, found a sun. We didn't actually get to see it beyond the final shot from the 𝘁𝗀𝗋. The burst was just there. I suppose we can go back to, we may throw to analyst desk very shortly to bring Yulwei and get his opinion on the game so far, because I don't have anyone else to talk to at the moment. Oh, Everyday's back. Never mind. Yes.
I know. Hi.
Buddy.
I had to sit down.
But yes. So yeah, if we can just throw over to analyst desk, we can bring Yulwei in for his thoughts. While we sit through this pause and wait for that to finish. How you doing, everyone? How you doing, Yulwei?
Hello, hello.
Oh, we brought you in just for the game to
So,
start again.
there we go.
Sorry.
Oh, there we go. Bye, Yulwei.
Okay, I'm out again. Have fun.
Apparently, oh no, sup?
What's going on?
VTV just
Nice
doesn't.
troll. Nice
VTV
troll.
just
Okay,
doesn't want
there we
it.
go.
All right.
Just
What's
didn't
going
want
on?
to see your way. That's all it was, apparently.
Yeah, there is obviously some tech issues going on at the moment. Let's just stay on the analyst desk until we have a bit more gameplay, I suppose. Yulwei, what's your thoughts so far?
That's good.
That top lane play was really close to actually going Team Secret's way. Just a matter of a few seconds and a few split-second decisions there. I actually think Lilia played it almost perfectly. She waited for Lucian to arrive. So she took as long as she could on the sleep and then still hit her W on both people with double crit damage and also the Q. So she dealt a lot of damage there. Just a little too far forward then in the chase and got caught by 𝘁𝗲 transforming into Meganar again. So died as well. Very close for Team Secret, but we're seeing too many individual blunders, too many individual mistakes, especially in bot lane. Now 𝘁𝗶𝗹 coming back in and immediately dying as well. What happened? I'm a little perplexed by this
That's a
game
good
so far.
question.
Team
What did
Secret
happen?
should look better here.
Yeah, I'm very shocked by. I think again, it could be something like the draft. CBL could be suffering the same sort of thing as I forgot who it was from yesterday,
P1.
but where the Galio they looked really bad on it, and then just turns around and starts playing an actual engaged support again, and it's like, oh, there's the player we know, there's the player we all love.
Fair. It's too late for that, though.
But it's too late for that. Obviously, we're in the game now, and hopefully we just don't see. Hopefully we see CBL sort of turn it around in the bot lane, because currently they're just actually losing 2v2.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's not what
very,
we
very
want.
bad for Team Secret. They are supposed
Yeah.
to have the winning bot lane in any matchup in the league. They have slayed a CBL. That's supposed to be a winning match into anyone in the league. And then you can support the newer player like 𝘁𝗀, newer not in the team, but newer in terms of his career, right? So 𝘁𝗀 struggling against 𝘁𝗲 is kind of expected, especially if 𝘁𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗀 plays proactively towards top side, as they have done. But then your bot lane should be the stabilizing factor, the one lane you can always rely on for team fights, for late game. That's not the case today, at least in these last two games. So that's a very scary thought coming into mid game and later stages.
We are just going to go to a little bit of a break while the tech issues get sorted out. We do apologize. It is, again, it's out of our hands. There does appear to be a player having an issue with a PC or something like that. It'll get sorted out quickly, I'm sure, and we'll be back as soon as there is gameplay to bring you.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Everyday's currently having a bit of issues. We're getting his stream back up, so I'm just sort of gonna take it solo from here. Currently, we're seeing Froggy getting swell seeded, and the seed goes off, but the Sonya's comes in. It's not enough. The culling comes out, and DNK takes that kill. We saw a little bit of, well, I don't know if it really was on the stream, but we saw DNK was able to. Team Secret were able to take that Rift Herald, and then now they're going to drop it and try and give that gold over to Artifact. Don't think it's enough to take the turret down on the thing. Timestamp is 10:38, 39, 40.
Okay.
And so moving on. As we see a gank coming to the top side, the Destiny Gate comes out, gold card is good, and Froggy picks up that kill. Coded not having the best of times in this top lane. An easy target for repeat ganks by Froggy. Didn't blow his flash. Knew he was dead from the start. And that's where we're at. And so from that, we're going to see them get some tower plays in the top lane. Froggy is making moves to the top lane yet again as we see things carry on. But if he leaves that, he can't really leave that lane too much though, because if he's out of lane too long, Artifact can pick up that first tower, and that's where they need to, and that's where they are going to struck, and that's going to give a bit more priority or options for Artifact to shove that lane deeper, open up access to get vision into the SGB's side of the jungle, and move in, and that's going to open up the map for them to try and help these side lanes get a bit more pressure on, try and stop Froggy's rotations, and see where that goes from there.
Hello. I'm going to cover for a bit.
Hello. Thank you.
There we go. DNK with another gank.
Yeah, we see DNK with another gank. Gold card comes out, but it's not enough. Actually, it may be enough as the Galio comes in.
I think I'm actually in sync, boys, so I'm going to jump straight in because he comes and set ultimate. He goes for the haymaker. It doesn't quite do enough damage. I do apologize, everyone. My internet really shit itself there for a little bit. That was a flurry of action. Can I just check a timestamp?
20, 31, 32.
I'm still like 3 seconds behind. Could you pause for a bit?
God. I don't think we can. No, we can't
Vinnie,
pause.
You should be able to. You're in charge. It's your room.
I cannot pause. I do not know why.
Okay.
Because it's a live stream or something. But we're seeing, apparently Slater went down to a 1v1 solo kill from 𝘀cie, which meant even in the entire mess of that midline fight, he was able to pick up a kill, pick up some more tower plates. He's getting off to a really good start. He is now miles ahead of Slater, has his full Gale Force completed compared to a pickaxe and a noon quiver and some swifties. That is not good for the side of Slater, who is meant to be our premier AD carry. He is getting completely bodied by this rookie. This is really bad signs for Team Secret, as we might going to bring Yulwei back in to help discuss things a little bit.
Yeah, look at the overall goal difference as well. It's almost 2k for 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 at 13 minutes into the game. And I talked about this game being a lane-dominant game for Team Secret again. We talked about all their picks being lane-focused, Jace into Gnar, Lucian as a mid-lane pick. This is not looking good for them. They are not here to outscale their opponents. They're supposed to lane... maybe.
There's your lane dominance as Artifact picks up tower. Oh, but Harsmith has teleported in. Good flash from Artifact to dodge the Gnar and picks up that kill on... BJ is doing his best, but he whiffs the collateral damage. That means Artifact's going to get out. Slater with a good flash and cleanse to get away from 𝘀cie's engage. But that's going to leave him vulnerable if Froggy ever decides to come back down that way again. Like, if they ever decide to send him down again. Yeah, I mean...
And Artifact with a good attempt, and he actually gets out with a flash. So he actually almost equals up the gold, if you look at that. Very nice push from Artifact. And he's the... #1 hope from Secret, but here we go again. 𝘀cie trying to get another solo kill. Slater super low, and he goes down.
And he is completely blown out of the way. 𝘀cie just blowing up Slater. Just one tag. That was all he needed to just killer instinct in. He knew he was so far. He had the damage. He has that serrated deck. He has that Gale Force. He is doing extremely well for himself right now, as we're going to see. What
And what a
happened?
huge breakout series for 𝘀ecie. After the first game, we thought, okay, whatever. 𝘀ecie looks like he looked in the promo tournament, but now look at him. 2 games back to back, dominating the bot lane, and 2 solo kills on Slater, bringing his team once again to a very strong position.
And we have to say what the hell happened to Team Secret in between game 1 and 2. They have completely fallen apart. And is that Wave every day saying he's ready to come
I
back?
think I'm ready. I was just trying to get a signal. Don't go too far your way because my internet. Can you just give me a timestamp?
35, 36.
I'm in.
Oh,
We've got it,
baby.
boys. We've got it, boys. There we
Thank
go.
you, Yulwei.
Finally. Thank you for helping us out there, Yulwei. I do apologize. That one's on me. My internet has just really decided to have a bad night. But it is going to be Saigon Buffalo, as we were saying, continuing to be in the lead. That was a very good play by 𝘀artifact in the mid lane, and this is a little bit of the Froggy factor once again. Miles behind in the matchup. It's an impossible to win matchup, don't get me wrong. But to be this
But
far behind is
60
definitely a
CS down,
disaster.
losing your tower completely. Now he has to give up the pressure around this bot lane tower, taken away by Coded. This has given a bit of gold back into Team Secret, and they have that opportunity to play through these solo lanes. However, the hover from 𝘀ecie to the top side means 𝘀artifact has to be careful around this top lane. 𝘁 isn't able to take it down as DNK shows up, but the pivot to the mid lane is good. They have the Herald from earlier. They can take 2 towers here with ease. They don't even need to charge on that first one. So this mid lane inner tower should be going down. Maybe they can even.
Call is used just to clear
Nope,
some
okay.
waves. Yeah, this
Yes,
is
so the curtain call is enough to stop them from pushing and getting a charge onto the inhibitor. So
this is a
Totally.
really amazing performance so far out of SGB. They are honestly just playing very, very smart. They're currently about 1,000 gold ahead. They'd be much further ahead if it wasn't for the mid lane, where 𝘀artifact does have that 60 CS lead. The top lane for Team Secret is really struggling. Coded, this is a pretty bad series from him overall, and it's a worrying sign if he is going to be this weak. Though, of course, 𝘁is a very good top laner. We don't want to ignore that. This has just been fantastic so far out of all of SGB. Honestly, all 5 of their players. Maybe you can, if we say with the exception of Froggy, but I don't even think he's been terrible in the plays.
Froggy has been good for Froggy. His weaknesses are still there. He still cannot farm for whatever reason. Hopefully we get to see where his farm went in the next series with Levi finally playing. But other than his obvious weakness of inability to pick up farm, he has been playing quite well for himself. His Orianna was fine in game 1, maybe terrible. His lane was a bit rough, but it's the Lucian. It's really hard to do.
What is this Emax for Lilia?
Not sure.
Why? But we have a fight kicking off. We might have a time to think about it as 𝘀artifact flies into the back line and Coated is detonated, just absolutely removed from the map. Slater is chunked down to 1/3 of his health, unable to have an impact on this Jhin. And this is going from bad to worse here for Team Secret, because 𝘀artifact, he heard us say, I was a critic of 𝘀artifact. I said, oh, well, he didn't really impress me in the promotion series, and if you can't impress me there, you're in trouble.
Alright,
look at this. He heard me.
Yeah, he heard you were talking shit. Thought that he wouldn't be there to hear it, but he is coming online. He is 4-0-0. He has his collector. He completely removed Coded from the face of the earth. He is popping off this game, and I am very impressed with the glow up from game 2 to now game 3, where he is absolutely the star carry on this team. He is making advantages for himself. 𝘀ecie is doing really well on the top side. He has helped, and Froggy has helped 𝘁artifact get ahead of Coded and put him in this hole. But 𝘀artifact didn't receive any real help from 𝗀𝗀, from 𝘀gie. He got that all by himself. I mean, with a bit of assistance from 𝘀𝗀cie, of course.
With 𝘀𝗀cie.
But 2 solo kills onto Slater. Massive CS lead. Knowing when he can pull that trigger on the killer instinct. Nearly picks up Slater again.
Nearly forces the Gale Force, and that was nothing committed on the side of 𝘀𝗀cie. Look at all of the damage. 𝗀𝗀 just ensures that Slater can't aid in any fight until he's gone back to base. And this is SGB looking dominant in this game.
And you have to look at Coded. He's trying his best to split push. That's all he can do at this point. He has no value in the team fight. He's too far behind. But on the other side, 𝘁𝗲, he can split push just as easily. He can do whatever he wants. He's built the stride breakers so he can run down 𝘁𝗲 if he needs to in the 1v1. If he can run down Artifact if he needs to in the 1v1. But even if he doesn't, he can just join these team fights and still provide a lot more utility than Coded if he has that Egnar as Artifact score.
Yeah, alright, he did jump forward with the ult there. 𝘀𝗀cie doing well, gets the 3-man taunt, and he's just leading them away. He's going to try and ult out of there, using the flash as well. And in goes 𝘀𝗀cie with that showstopper. All of the kills are going Saigon's way. Slater does finally fire back, but it is a fool's errand, as Team Secret are just wiped out. 1 man survives, and Saigon Buffalo, they're the best team in the league.
Saigon Buffalo absolutely mad at us for putting them dead last in our predictions. They are coming out with a massive statement game. They are taking this Baron. They can use this to break open the base. And I have to apologize to 𝘁𝗲. I was just saying how much more useful than Coded he is, and that just got him killed doing absolutely nothing in that team fight.
He still has been much more useful. He's done nothing.
Absolutely. Alrighty gets to start off, almost blows up Artifact, forces out the exhaust and from CBL, and then it's just they're doing their best to scatter. 𝘁𝗲 just draws the attention, picks up Artifact of the off, executes him on the backside, whereas the rest of the team just picks off the rest of the team one by one. Slater with the Deadly Flourish means they're not going to continue chasing him, but at that point the damage is done. That's the Baron over. That's so much extra gold for SGB. They are now, actually, they are still only like 4,000 gold ahead, which feels ridiculous, but that's the power of these split push turrets coming in. There's gold advantage in the mid lane for Artifact in terms of getting his CS numbers up. But now they can just look to break open this turret, break open the game even more. And it's not even, even though it's only a 4,000 gold advantage, just looking at how these team fights are playing out, it feels so much greater. Because Coded isn't able to do anything, Slater feels like he's not able to do anything, and CBL just does not feel like he's being as effective on this Galio as he could be on any other pick.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, this is where you have to ask the question of why didn't you pick something like the Aphelios that could really have an impact? Slater is so gated by actually being able to get close and deal some damage, and he's not able to do that into this comp. Instead, he was the only man that survived. He dealt very little damage. He kind of just picked up Artifact's mess on 𝘁𝗲. It's not even that big a scaling threat, and Team Secret looks like they're completely, up the creek without a paddle.
I don't think necessarily the issue is the Jhin pick. I feel it's more the sort of Galio pick being pivoted away. And then also
but
going
if you're going to pick
the...
Galio, why don't you go Aphelios and have him play Bouncer?
I think more so much the issue is, going Aphelios would be fine, but I don't think that would have been much of use. 𝘀𝗀gie and Ariety still able to blow him up on the back line. I think with how CBL's been playing this Galio, it wouldn't have made a difference at all. I think the main issue is because they went for the Lucian Galio as a very early rotation, and then that sort of limited them, especially when they pick up that Jace. It means that they needed to go for something with engage from the jungle position, because right now they have no engage, and that means they haven't been able to pick their fights at all. They haven't been able to decide what they want to do. They can't choose to go in, whereas when they've been the most effective, they've had Leona, they've had Camille to pick the fights for them, and at this point, they're just sort of having to sit back and wait for SGB to make a mistake. They're the ones making the mistake. Yes. 𝘀𝗀gie goes down. goes in.
Yeah, he just goes in, picks up the easy kill onto 𝘀cie, the strongest member. They're going to try and turn something around, but there's just absolutely no damage going out. The curtain call is just going to thud into no one. 𝘀cie doesn't even get sniped. SGB, I think, are about to just win the game, and they're about to just win the series.
Yeah.
𝘀𝗏 just goes down. 𝘁𝗏 has the 4th shot locked and loaded. They just need to be careful around him. There they go. They baited out. I'm not sure what killed 𝘀cie there. I think it was just an errant tower. But this is 𝘁𝗏𝗶𝗹𝘀 starting their season off with a win that no one thought they could get. No one thought they would pick up this series.
Ever would have predicted that
No one thought they would pick up
𝘁𝗏𝗶𝗹𝘀.
a game.
And the
But they
reverse
pick up the win.
sweep comes out. 𝘁𝗏𝗶𝗹𝘀 2-1. Take down Team Secret. This is insane. This is so much impact for the standings. And even our power rankings, we have to really question: Is Secret one of those top 3 teams now? I don't know. I mean, it's one series. We can't obviously write them out completely, but
It's a bad start, though.
it's a rough start. Yulwei might be looking to knock them down to 3rd rather than 2nd, but that's about all we have.
We are going to bring our analyst back in for a short little analyst desk to kind of talk about that series. That is a massive upset. This is pinnacle of VCS. You never know who is really going to win. And Yulwei, kind of just give us some of your thoughts.
Yeah, and I think we have to immediately go to the bot lane. What a performance! What a breakout first series for 𝘁𝗏𝗏 and 𝘁𝗏𝗏. They just won against 𝘁𝗏𝗏, the championship duo from spring last year. That's incredible, and 𝘁𝗏𝗏 especially being aggressive, looking for solo kills on 𝘁𝗏𝗏 over and over again. How intimidating is it to play your first series in real professional play against 𝘁𝗏𝗏, the best ADC in the league? And he showed no signs of slowing down, no nervous, maybe a little bit of jitters in the first game. That's okay, but he got rid of them very, very quickly and carried his team. His team played well, but he was one of the main carries.
Incredible stuff.
It was fantastic from him. I feel bad now because pre-season I was just shit talking 𝘁𝗏𝗏 so much.
Hey, I've always said I'm happy to be proved wrong.
Yeah, but I feel bad because, oh my god, that man did so well this series. First game might as well have swapped the nameplates, and it would have been much more in line with the other 2 games. Because Jesus, good job.
Yeah, how long has it been since 𝘁𝗏𝗏 has won a game on 𝘁𝗏𝗏? 𝘁𝗏𝗏 showing him how it's done. That was one very, very good 𝘁𝗏𝗏 performance. Playing on the edge of ADC and Assassin all the time, sometimes kiting back, sometimes jumping in. And I think he finished the game without death, right? If I saw that correctly.
I think so.
I believe so.
And he's obviously going to be our player of the series. 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏, what a breakout performance. Going up against the best bot lane in the VCS in CBL and 𝘁𝗏𝗏, and just saying, hey, it's get out of the way, old man. The Zoomers are here. And he absolutely just cruised through this game, and an absolutely ridiculous performance. That does bring us to the end of the first series, and we have a banger coming up next. It is the rematch of the finals. It is, formally at least, the 2 giants of the VCS. We'll have to see if the new Flash will be able to stand up to the juggernaut of 𝘀𝗏. Don't go anywhere. We hope you are enjoying the show here on VCS English. We bring you all the VCS games. If you do want to support us, there are a few options of how to do so below the stream. We would really appreciate it, but hey, no pressure. We'll be back as soon as there is more to bring you. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back. Because this was shocking. Let's have a look at this. This is some of the worst 𝗀𝗏 play I've ever seen. What are you doing? Oh my god!
It looks so clunky too. We'll get this turret back to even gold. So we still haven't really talked about a lot about the. Please, yeah. This is the worst Ziggs performance I've ever seen.
Look at this brilliant motherfucker. Look at his majesty. Look at that proud face. Look at that great plumage right here. Color coordination, great. Eye contact, perfect. He projects from the chest. Big chest puffed out. Very confident bird. That is a magnificent animal.
These guys fucking putting in the work, man. This is how you get places. A lot of respect to these guys, man. They are fucking unofficial VCS English. They're working hard, are casting long games. They're trying to get some work out there. Boys, let's show them some love. Good fucking job, gentlemen. Keep it up.
Situation there, really good knockup. Should be able to get the return kill. CBL, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You just eat. Oh! 32 souls at 20 minutes here for 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗀. Not great, is
What is going on? What is that? Very good bot game in the last one, so maybe now it's time for a very good 𝘀liche game for him. So I think bot lane for 𝘀 should be the one we all look at, because in the first 3 games, big advantage. So for fourth game, actually not.